fortress where it's safe, because outside these walls, it's really dangerous, really dangerous. Homie, I believe it. That's why I'm out here riding for the people. Tell them where I be at, where they need it. And you ain't gotta be me or do something different trying to beat me. You say, insane, run my lane like you say. So you slang or run my name, you bud. But you playing, all these games, the truth playing. Everybody in the body isn't got it, cause they follow where you walking. I'm talking how you talking, I ain't running from the standard. This is standing for the running, man. I call it like a sea reverie. All things are all good, I'm trying to be it. If I'm on 1-6, then I mean I'm on mission. He orders every look step. Bobby Brown, new edition, but who would I? Thought where I went, would I? Cause the vision, how could I? Humble beats trying to reach where they be. Bring them peace, honestly. Could perceive all the screaming times of collision. My God. No for real, my God. Give me clear sight just to live how you are. God knows I want that for sure. Everything on life, hope it give it to me. Please know where you be isn't where he has me. But it's still same team, same team.
What I'm finna quit, bruh. You see me living like a king. It's still 116, bruh. Oh Lord, working for the same team. I think I need an ad-lib from Diddy. Cause I'ma take that to each and every city. Homie, I'ma take that. Homie, I'ma take that. Homie, I'ma take that. Homie, I'ma take that. Homie, I'ma I'm hitting the shot, 3, 2, 1, so here go a box full of tissue. Let's go, it's game time. You know I don't play about money. You throw up the rock, I come up some rings. I know you know I'm coming. I'm out in LA like K23, throwing up oops is nothing. You hear the little boys, you boys go funny, put one on your home and they dunking. Need light, so you know I won't miss. Ran up the score, I can tell they jealous. You don't want no problems with my team, we all in. Better chill out, cause we really ballin'. Switch on ballin', ring it callin'. Made a buzzer beater, now I'm on good morning. America, 8 o'clock in the morning. We cannot relate cause your life is so boring. Bussin', straight bussin'. They told me I couldn't do it from beginning. Still bussin', straight bussin'. You all stepped into my bag, now I'm ballin'. Still bussin', straight bussin'. They told me I couldn't do it from beginning. Still bussin', straight bussin'. You all stepped into my bag, now I'm ballin'.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Welcome to tonight's contest. Judson University, the MSFA, and the NAIA are committed to promoting character-driven intercollegiate athletics. The NAIA Champions of Character program empowers student athletes, coaches, officials, and fans to demonstrate at all times what character truly means in a competitive arena. Please refrain from using profanity as you support your team. The NAIA encourages respect between opponents and sportsmanship in all contests. And once again, thank you for your support and enjoy the game. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dundee Crown High School and Charger Stadium for this evening's contest between the Tigers of Olivet Nazarene University and your Judson University Eagles. Today's match is the first ever between Olivet Nazarene University and Judson University. This This game also marks the culmination of homecoming and family weekend for Judson University. Welcome home to all of our Judson alumni. We are thrilled that you have chosen to join us this evening and so appreciate your support and commitment to your alma mater. Last evening and earlier today, Judson was proud to bestow several awards to distinguished alumni. At halftime, we'll honor those alumni with special recognition. Also, a special welcome to all of the parents and grandparents, brothers and sisters, and other family members who have joined us for the family weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, and all fans of Judson Athletics, please stand and welcome to the field your Judson University Eagles.
It's going down, I'm on fire. I'm definitely in my zone. Fire in my bones, so best believe it's on. Sweating tears, I've invested in this game. So I lay it on the line because I come to do my thing. Do my thing. I'm on fire. Blood, sweat, and tears, I've invested in this game. So I lay it on the line because I come to do my thing. Do my thing. I'm definitely in my zone. Transforming the beast mode. I'm showing up and I'm balling out. I run this game with no cheat codes. I'm out there and I'm ready to go. Bigger is my name and go. Believe that I receive that. Shall come to pass as I said so. If you want it, come get it. Better come with it. I'm on fire. And don't you forget it. I hope against hope. Ain't no situation hopeless. Got the game on lock. Man, my focus got hope. I give my all to this game. Blood, sweat, and tears, man, it's all hard now. I ain't got no fear. It's game time, man. I'ma lay it on the line. I ain't holding nothing back, so let's get it on the grind. It's on now. We ready. It's on now. We ready. It's on now. We ready. It's on now. It's going down. I'm on fire. I'm definitely in my zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, with us today to give our opening prayer is Dr. Warren Anderson. Dr. Anderson is the director of the Dental Center for Worship and the Performing Arts, associate professor of music and worship, director of the University Choir, and chair of the Communication Arts program at Judson University. A proud 1986 alumnus of Judson University, Dr. Anderson has also served as the head softball coach and assistant coach in men's basketball and is an ardent supporter of Judson Athletics. Dr. Anderson, the field is yours.
Let's pray. Sovereign God, Father, Son, and Spirit, we come to you with gratitude in our hearts for that which we have celebrated these past few days in our homecoming. We recognize that this homecoming portends the greater homecoming that it awaits all of us when we call you our Lord and our Savior. We thank you for this opportunity to play tonight. We thank you for the athletes who will be out there striving and giving their best. We ask for a safe game, Lord. We ask for a game played physically well. We ask that there would be sportsmanship that would be very evident. We'd ask that you would bless these athletes as they honor you with all of their heart, soul, mind, and indeed their strength this evening. We love you, Lord, and we thank you for this opportunity that we have here together. And it's in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit we pray. Amen.
Please join me in welcoming the color guard today. The color guard is from the Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW Post 2298, hailing from West Dundee, Illinois. They represent every branch of the military and are led by Commander Darren Pearson and Service Commander Eric Pibblebart. Gentlemen, thank you for your service and for honoring Judson with your presence today. Ladies and gentlemen, as we honor America and our heroes who defend our freedom with the playing of their national anthem, we ask that you please remove your hats, rise, and remain standing until the color guard has left the field. Tonight, the national anthem will be performed by the Salvation Army Brass Band. thoughts on Judson Eagle football?
Well, it's interesting to see what will happen in conference play. Non-conference to conference play, you never know kind of what to expect. And for a team like Judson in their inaugural season, a real test this week on homecoming.
It's sort of a measuring stick, right? Your first conference game. And last week against Madonna University, it was a measuring stick for Judson against another program also in its first year as a program. So they got to see exactly where they measure up against a similar situation. And that final score was 41-14, 500 yards of offense under the direction of the freshman out of San Antonio, who, as Jared just said, will get the start tonight for Judson. Just his second college start, Christian Miller. And Jared, Christian's really got his work cut out for him going against an Olivet Nazarene team that is ranked number 14 in the NAIA, coming off an 8-0 conference season, and really has one of the best defenses at this level.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving up 25 points per game. Last week against Taylor, allowed only 7 points. From a yard standpoint, again, yards can be a little bit overrated at times, allowing a little over 300. This is a pretty talented defense that brings a lot of experience back. I think the one guy you really got to stand out for on that defensive line, Mark Phelps. You're going to see him maybe as the bandit. Maybe he'll have his hand in the dirt. Maybe he'll stand up as a linebacker. And then Jason Freeman, the sophomore. Not too far from here, Zion, Illinois, leads the team with 49 tackles, 8 tackles for loss. They're really going to have to keep their eye on them offensively. But Judson University, they've struggled a little bit at times on defense, but offensively, they can hold their own. They've put up 30-plus in 2 games this season, 41 last week against Madonna. It's going to be important to keep this defense on the field as long as you can if you're this Judson offense, because Olivet Nazarene can score too.
Yeah, a lot of offense, too, for Olivet Nazarene. You mentioned Jason Freeman on the defensive end. He was the Midwest League Defensive Player of the Year last season for the Tigers. Well, this season, he's looking to start fresh, looking to do that again. And on the offensive end, it was their quarterback, David Hutton, winning Offensive Player of the Year. And David Hutton, the redshirt sophomore out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, he's back for year 2, and he's ready to rumble tonight after a really efficient outing against Taylor. That was a 34-7 win.
Yeah, overall, it's kind of been a slow start for Hutton, though. On the season, 11 of 27, 185
Judson
yards. That was last week in that win. And then overall, collectively, completing around 57% of his passes, 3 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. For someone that won the Conference Offensive Player of the Year award, you'd like to see those numbers maybe be a little bit better. But again, you have the pandemic. You're coming in now over a year of football. I'm excited to see what he brings to the table against a Judson defense that at times has struggled. It could be a big night for Hutton in the Olivet Nazarene Tigers offense.
Yeah, we'll see. Jury is out, and to commence that process, we've got the coin toss right now at the 50. We're here at Dundee Crown High School at the Dundee Crown football field, home of the Chargers, and this season, for the first year in program history, home of the Judson Eagles. Jared, I'm curious, we talk so much about the quarterbacks in football, and that matchup tonight, inexperience versus experience in Christian Miller for Judson and David Hutton for Olivet Nazarene. Who's another X factor offensively for one of these two teams that you think really might be the difference?
I think it's Jalen Dunigan for Olivet Nazarene, 5'11", 185-pound junior from Florida. Last week, 2 receptions, 29 yards, but overall in the season, 19 catches, 239 yards. That leads this team. He's a guy that Judson's going to really have to keep an eye on. Now, does that mean you got to have a safety go over the top with him every time? Maybe not. Do you have to play soft and give him a little bit of a cushion because you don't want to be beaten man coverage? Maybe. I think you got to play it by ear. See how it goes the first couple of series, and then make your adjustments from there. I think he's the one guy from Olivet Nazarene that you can't let beat you. And if you're Judson, I think offensively the guy that you have to get involved is Ovante Vickers. 32 catches, 463 yards, only a junior, 4 touchdowns, leads the team there. These 2 receivers, dynamic for programs that necessarily haven't had all that much success throwing the football.
So we'll see. You say play it by ear, that's football. You got to play it all by ear. No doubt our eyes zoned in on Jalen Dunigan and Ovante Vickers. That'll be 14 in white for Olivet Nazarene and 0 in navy for Judson. Judson's going to kick off, and it's David Dunbar, the freshman, who is back. So great to have you again, Sam Brief and Jared Schlensky with you from Dundee Crown High School as we get cooking for the Eagles and the Tigers. Hope you're having a great Saturday night. Football's on, about to get better. And the kick goes deep and lands at the 15-yard line. Run over to the right side and a little shimmy, spin, and a big hit right at the 30. That was Jack Vance for Olivet Nazarene getting poked down as the Tigers will set up from the right hash at the 30.
That was a big hit, big collision too. Kick got out to about the 10. Elected to veer right. And well, he found out the hard way that this Judson special teams unit can hit too. Decent field position though to begin if you're Olivet Nazarene though.
So here comes that Tiger offense, powered by the redshirt sophomore David Hutton. He comes from Brookfield, Wisconsin. Numbers this season, just a 57% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 5 picks, but the reigning conference offensive player of the year. And he hands off to start Ajay Grayson up the middle, bullies his way to the 38, and a nice little chunk on the ground for Olivet Nazarene.
Yeah, Grayson, a busy guy last week, 8 carries, 30 yards, and a touchdown, had 2 catches out of the backfield for 18 yards. Not a bad idea to give him the ball to begin the game.
Both of these teams a little more run and gun, pass-heavy offense. So to start, Olivet Nazarene going right on the ground, but now you can mark that the end of the ground game, at least for now. 2nd and 2, and out of the gun, Hutton spoils over to the left side, and that pass just out of the reach of Grayson. So going right back to 3 and white and a 3rd down.
Yeah, I like the idea there. Obviously, it was a little bit behind him, a really tough catch to make. But I like the idea of trying to get your feature back involved early. Now the question is, what do you elect to do here on 2nd and 10?
Yeah, check that 2nd down, as Jared just told you. Ball at the 40 for this Olivet Nazarene team, coming in 2-1 after the win over Taylor last week. It's Hutton again to Grayson, inhaled with just the left hand, but he goes down in the backfield. A slew of Eagles in on the action, and that'll set up a long 3rd down, right? Leading the charge, James Briscoe.
Yeah, a very nice open field tackle. As you said, a little bit out in front, had to haul it in with one hand. And to make that tackle with open space, not easy to do at all, but a huge stop there to force 3rd and long.
All right, 3rd and very long for Olivet Nazarene. Tigers after the best season in program history, going 8-0 in conference play last year. And an empty set here for David Hutton, the former conference offensive player of the year. He brings Grayson now to his right, 4 wide, and here goes Hutton. He's got a shimmy around, lots of pressure, good blocking on the outside, pass deep to Graziano, tiptoeing, did he get in? Yes, says the side judge. Scotty Graziano, how about that?
Very nice catch on the sideline, able to get 1 foot down. Not bad job there by Judson getting pressure on Hutton. Ultimately, though, able to escape, get outside the pocket, and that you're asking a defensive back to cover for that long. Not likely going to happen. Hutton put it on him for a nice big gain.
So the blitz stymied. Good late blocking, too, by a young offensive line. 4 freshmen for Judson. As here goes Grayson up the middle, just a couple yards as he gets totally engulfed by the defensive line, and 2nd and long now.
A 27-yard hookup between Hutton and Graziano on the previous play. And they've already run 7 plays from scrimmage. Not a bad start if you're this Olivet Nazarene offense.
That was on 3rd and 12. The connection from Hutton to Graziano. And Scotty, he led the team with 443 receiving yards last year. So here's Hutton, right back to it, and he'll go up the middle to Grayson. And again, I.J. Grayson with a nice little burst. He goes across the middle, and that'll set up a 3rd and short.
Really close to the marker. I do think, like you said, he's just short. But again, able to get him the ball early. That's what you want to do if you're this Olivet Nazarene team, because you take pressure off Hutton and you put him in 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable position.
So 3rd and 2 for Olivet Nazarene, right on the end of field goal range. And they've got a fantastic kicker. And over to the right, this one low, but Dunnigan got there. That's someone you talked about pregame, Jared, Jalen Dunnigan, former first-team all-conference, and he gets the first down conversion.
He does. A little pitch and catch, keep it simple, soft coverage. Why not throw it to him out there? It just only needed a yard. Not a guy that's essentially going to be a guy that's going to go up and out-jump you, but very good speed, very good route running we've seen early on.
Out of Jacksonville, Florida, bottom of your screen right now, that's Jalen Dunnigan. And right back now to Ajay Grayson, and this time just a yard or so as he's tackled right up front by Keyshawn Frazier.
Keyshawn Frazier on the stop. Haven't seen him a whole lot this season, at least from a stat sheet standpoint, but we've called his name twice already, and a nice job there to keep the first yard gainage from not getting too out of hand.
Early downs, Judson's defense has been pretty stout, but it's been those 3rd down conversions, 2 of them so far, for an efficient Tiger offense. Now 2nd and 7. Here goes Hutton to his right, dumps it off right back to Dunnigan, and he stumbles his way to the 13 or so. And another 3rd and short coming up for Jalen Dunnigan, David Hutton, and this Olivet Nazarene offense.
Good tackle by Franklin Sayers in open space. Dunnigan, we talked about in the pregame show, really the one guy that you can't afford to have beat you. They're able to tackle him in the open field and keep him from picking up the first down. Very big.
3rd and a yard, a foot. This is right on the line for Olivet Nazarene. Hutton, and it's Grayson over the middle, and the 3rd down conversion for Olivet Nazarene. Now inside the 10, here come the Tigers.
Not the biggest running back, but he's got a good knack for finding the hole, and that was the difference right there. 3rd and short, maybe not the ideal guy to have pick it up, but able to find a small crease and move the sticks.
5'9", 200. He's out of New York.
Yeah, a lot of these kids, both teams, and I should say young adults, across the United States, not just Illinois. I like it.
We're all kids at heart.
Yeah.
It's 1st and 10 for Olivet Nazarene. And Hutton keeping it himself. Hutton to the right. Hutton stretching towards the goal line. And a touchdown for Olivet Nazarene. So 3 3rd down conversions, and it's David Hutton to seal the deal for the score.
And he really didn't run the ball that much early on this season. At 22 carries, not an extreme high amount through 3 games. Able to find a little bit of a soft spot there. Good job there of stretching the edge and find the pylon for 6.
And it was right off of play action, right? 4 times we saw Grayson up the middle, this time a fake, and the outside was open for Hutton. So now for the extra point, here's the efficient Bryce DeGuira, redshirt senior, has been spectacular. And as is usual, right down the uprights. 7-0, Olivet Nazarene takes the lead. David Hutton, Ajay Grayson, Jalen Dunnigan, little 3-headed monster for the Tigers. And it's Olivet Nazarene on top early.
Not bad at all. Good balance, too. 5 passes, 6 runs, cover 70 yards in about 4.5 minutes. I'd say that's a successful first drive for Olivet Nazarene.
Very efficient. Olivet Nazarene looking for back-to-back wins and a 3-1 start. And we come back, we'll get a look at Christian Miller and this young Judson offense. This is Judson University football. Good to have you back under the lights at Dundee Crown Football Field. Sam Brief, Jared Schlensky, and our wonderful production team with you for Judson and Olivet Nazarene. And an efficient drive to start, 70 yards down the field in 7 plays. David Hutton, the 10-yard touchdown run to finish it off. And here, a stumble at the 30 off the kickoff, and Judson will keep it right around the 29-yard line. And this Judson offense will set up now. So a little messy on the kickoff, but here comes Christian Miller and this Judson offense. So Christian, he got his first college start last week, a big test against Madonna University. Fair to say he passed the test, led an offense with 500 yards, 41-14 win, but now he'll go up against one of the best teams in the NAIA.
Yeah, a good test too. An opportunity that Christian Miller may not have been expecting. And fortunately for this Judson team, I don't think Cade Smith on the return was expecting that ball, but a good job of corralling it and getting possession, giving your team an opportunity to move the ball for the first time now.
Miller's got Michael Porter in the shotgun just to his left. The freshman Christian Miller dumping it off right side. Oh, and here's a long heave downfield, just deep. And Judson going spicy. That was Ryan Odie, one of the backup quarterbacks, lined up in the slot, took the ball, heaved it deep. A little trickery to start on homecoming night.
Yeah, I really like the play call there. It was there. Ultimately, OT just overthrew him, and it was Jaquavius Wise he was looking for. I like that. That's a well-scripted play by head coach Dan Papelizak. Unfortunately, they just couldn't hook up.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, bench, sideline interference, contact, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
How about that? 15-yard penalty on the Tiger sideline for contact. And just like that, a free 15 and a first down for Judson.
Yeah, I didn't see it. It was from the other sideline, but if you're going to make contact with somebody from the opposite side, that is definitely a fresh 15, and very well may likely be an ejection if that happens again.
So now the ball right at the 44 for Judson. And it's Miller with 3 wide to his right. Christian Miller, the true freshman out of San Antonio, graduate of Warren High School, chucks it over to his right. And that's Michael Porter, the running back, shimmying his way just across the 45-yard line, gain of a couple for Judson.
So a couple of quick horizontal passes. Obviously the one was a lateral where they try to hit Wise on a deep ball, but just easy pitch and catches for Christian Miller, maybe trying to get his confidence going and ultimately set up this defense for possibly over-the-top ball.
I wonder at what point in the week Dan Papelizak and this Judson crew scripted that first play with the lateral. That was quite a heave downfield, and now here goes Porter to his left, and he's stuffed in the backfield. Josh Mathiasen right in on it, the freshman out of Elmhurst, all over him, and that'll set up third.
Yeah, Mathiasen, a starter for this team. Only a freshman, like you said, but 15 tackles coming into the season, had 9 of them last week. A good job there containing what could have been potentially a big gain.
3rd and 8. First test for Christian Miller. We saw Olivet Nazarene go 3 for 3 on 3rd down, so let's see if Judson can do the same after the gift on the penalty. It's Miller dropping back. Miller looking, evades 1 tackler, 2 tacklers, and now finally chopped down right at the 50. Somehow, he snuck out of Eric Cloy's grasp, but finally taken down right at midfield.
Yeah, good job by the safety coming up, Damian Savage, to make the open field tackle. Miller able to make a couple of guys miss, and I'm very curious to see what Judson elects to do here.
Yeah,
on
going
4th
for
down.
it.
I'm surprised. I'll be honest. 50-yard line, very early in the game to be going for it. This might just be a tactic to see if you can get him to jump offside. We'll see.
4 yards, ball's right inside the 50. So 4th and 4 for Miller against one of the best defenses in the NAIA. Miller looking left. Miller rifles it, and that one's incomplete. So they'll turn it right back over to Olivet Nazarene. Now a short field for
Yeah, a
David
little
Hutton.
bit risky there, but I like I like taking a chance. The only bad part is obviously you're going to give Olivet Nazarene good field position. Coming out towards the sideline was Dakari Ferguson. He had him, down the sideline. Ultimately didn't see him, had to get rid of it, and just couldn't hook up on a turnover on downs.
There's Ferguson a little deeper, but elected to dump it off short. And good coverage by that stout Tiger front. And we've lauded this Tiger defense. Last year, Olivet Nazarene allowed 16.5 points a game. Team went 8-1 and made it to the NAI postseason. Best finish in program history. And here's Hutton handing off right up the middle. And this time it's Gil Scott Jackson II for a nice little chunk before he's stopped, never really brought down. And a nice start running again for Olivet Nazarene.
First time we've called Jackson's name, but he had a big hole between the center and the right guard, and he did not miss it and got very close to the first down marker on first down.
2nd and 1 now. Right back to Hutton out of the shotgun. He puts it in the chest of Jackson, and there goes Gil Scott Jackson to the 25. Nice little burst of speed for the senior.
Back-to-back runs to Gil Scott Jackson. I like what Coach Eric Heyman is doing, keeping his running backs fresh, but again, saving a touchdown there. Demarius Farmer with the open field tackle.
Farmer leading tackler on the season with his 27th, and right back to the ground. This is Gil Scott, and as he was the first time, he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Good tackle by David Dunbar. He also will do some of the punting duties for this Judson team. A very nice tackle to keep them from getting another good game. They've done a nice job of creating holes early on this offensive line. You got to give credit to center Matthew Surratt and the right guard J.T. Price. Both freshmen have created some open lanes on that right side.
Find you a punter who can tackle. That's a good punter.
Yeah.
2nd and long, and here's Hutton in front of that inexperienced offensive line. And on that note, dropped in the backfield, Gil Scott Jackson again. Thoughts on the run so far? That's 4 in a row on this second drive.
Yeah, you know, I look at Olivet Nazarene as a run-first football team, so no, I'm not surprised. Most coaches script their plays, and when you have all that time to script, you're probably going to come out throwing the ball early on. Now as the game continues, I would expect to see some runs. I do think that you're going to go pass here on 3rd down and 7 to go.
This is field goal range for Bryce DeGuira, who's long on the season is 50. 3rd and 7 for Hutton. Flags flying. Hutton looking left. Hutton lofts it deep into the end zone, and that one is inhaled in the back. Touchdown for Olivet Nazarene. It's the freshman Tyler Isaacson on a 24-yard score.
He had all day there, Hutton able to move left and then move right. Ultimately, Isaacson wide open. A very nice throw and a good job, Isaacson, knowing where the boundary was to get a foot down.
So now we wait. You saw the yellow laundry, and let's see what the officials say.
We have offsetting penalties on the play. Offense, illegal shift. Defense, offsides. They offset, replay the down.
No touchdown, scratch it.
Very surprised there. I saw the flag come in right away. I thought a defender was lined up inside the neutral zone, but offsetting penalty is going to keep it at 3rd down.
So 3rd and 7, 24-yard line after run, all up the middle. We saw David Hutton lofting it deep into the back of the end zone. And the guy who caught it, Isaacson, he's lined up in the slot bottom of your screen. That's Gil Scott Jackson in motion. Hutton, a short pass, and this one dropped right in front of the line of scrimmage. That's Scotty Graziano. So now do you go field goal, you go for it?
I think you got to go for it here. You've had success running the football. It's 4th and less than a yard. I would keep Jackson in there, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him run the ball.
So 4th and 1, Jackson's in there. Hutton and the rest of the crew looking over to the sideline where the head coach Eric Heyman, quarterbacks coach Calvin Renfro, each in their 6th season, are given the call, and offense is on the field. So here we go.
They've been on the field for a while now, Sam. Over 3 minutes this drive has taken.
4th and 2, already a 7-0 lead for Olivet Nazarene. And now their lead man, Eric Heyman, calls timeout. It's worth noting with the ball at the 20, it would be a 37-yard
Timeout.
field goal. And
First
Bryce
time.
DeGuira, senior kicker, is among the best in the country. Last year, 24 for 24 on extra points, 13 for 13 field goals. This year, he's got a long of 50. So you can kick it, and more often than not, you got the 10-0 lead.
Yeah, you make a point there to go up 2 scores, but with 4th and less than a yard, you move the ball very well, especially on the ground early in this game. I like the use of the timeout. Make sure you get on the same page. If you're Judson, you're in a tough position here. You've got to pretty much sell out on the run. But if they go play action, you've got to tell your defensive backs to play off those receivers a little bit. It's a very tough position right now for Judson. But if you're Olivet Nazarene, I think this is the right call to go for it on 4th down.
You got the big huddle there for the white jersey Tigers, so not showing any of their cards as we await word on 4th and short. And hey, for you at home, it's great to have you with us for some Judson University football, just the 5th game in program history. Sam Brief alongside Jared Schlensky and our fantastic production crew here at Dundee Crown Football Field. And what do you know it? Offense is on the field. Gil Scott Jackson, David Hutton in the backfield for Olivet Nazarene. Big 4th down chance. And a run up the middle. There goes Gil Scott Jackson. Did he get there? This will be a close play right at the line. And according to the initial spot, looks like a 1st down for the Tigers.
Initially, I didn't think he got it. I think second progress or forward progress on that run is going to give him the 1st down. And I think it's the right call to go for it on 4th down. You made a great point, though, before the play, Sam. DeGura has had a ton of success this season along the 50 yards. I like the decision to go for it on 4th down, keep it in the hands of Jackson.
Not many guys at this level have a 50-yard leg.
Not many.
Bryce DeGuira, the senior, spectacular.
Probably can count them on one hand.
At the 15 now. There's Jackson again. He's dropped in the backfield. Big stop.
A really nice ankle tackle on hand by John Trell Mitchell. Went low there on Jackson and able to keep him from getting big yardage, less than a yard on that run. And it's going to set up 2nd and long here.
Mitchell's an interesting player, a hybrid guy, the grad transfer out of the University of Central Missouri. You could see him dropping a hand as a D-end. You could see him as a linebacker or even in this secondary. So keep an eye on 32 in blue as Dunbar rifles it near side. That's Dunnigan spinning his way to the 10. Dunnigan out of bounds, and 3rd down awaits us.
Good job there by Demarius Farmer coming from the slot position to get over to Dunnigan, who was able to break free from a couple of tackles. This Judson team, we've talked about inexperienced inaugural season, but they've got some speed, and you can go pretty far with speed, especially this early in your program.
You can't mention inexperience too long. It's game 5, so it's like, hey guys, you got 4 years of college, or 4 games of college ball under your belt. Here goes 3rd and 3 from the 8, and Gil Scott Jackson to his right, dives forward. Did he get there? Yes, sir. That'll bring up 1st and goal.
Like the decision there by head coach Heyman to keep it on the ground. 3rd and short. Trust your back there in Jackson. Able to lower his shoulder off right tackle and move the sticks.
That was Decarius Davis on the tackle, but now Olivet Nazarene knocking on the door of a 14-0 lead. It was the 11-yard rush touchdown by David Hutton on their first drive. And here on the second drive, it's already been 9 plays, 47 yards, and now 1st and goal from the 4. It's Hutton. Hutton will keep it. Hutton engulfed in the backfield. Looked like a miscommunication for the Tigers.
Yeah, he bobbled the snap too. It looked like he wanted to hand that off initially. Didn't get a good grasp of the football, and ultimately just a good job there of getting control and not turning the ball over. We saw Hutton keep the last time they were inside the 10, Sam. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hutton maybe on a design pass play, look to see what his options are, and if nothing there, try to run for it.
He's got his tight end, Jacob Evans, in the game. That's 81 in white. Hand on the ground, bottom of your screen. 2nd down, here's Hutton, looking left. Hutton lofts it, and he gets it complete. Gil Scott Jackson for the Tigers' 2nd score.
Real easy option there. Running back goes out to the flat. He did a good job leading him. Receivers who begin to run their routes then turn into blockers. Easy 6. And Olivet Nazarene so far, 2 possessions, have covered a lot of ground. Combined yardage close to 150 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Thoughts on the running backs so far? It seemed like the first drive, it was, all right, here's I.J. Grayson down your throat, and then that was the drive of Gil Scott-Jackson.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming more popular across the college football landscape to go running back by committee, regardless of the level from Pee Wee all the way to the NFL. It's a very demanding position. It takes a toll on your body, using multiple guys, able to keep them fresh, and plus keep defenses off balance.
Extra points good for DeGuira. That's pretty simple for him. And now we'll step aside here. This is Judson University football, 14-0 Olivet Nazarene on top. Good to have you back here at Dundee Crown Football Field. It's Judson, it's Olivet Nazarene, and so far all Olivet Nazarene as the Tigers lead the Eagles 14-0. Successful drive spearheaded by David Hutton and Gil Scott-Jackson was 11 plays, 51 yards after Judson went for it on fourth, didn't get it right at midfield. And here we go. Eagles looking for some solid field position and spinning his way to the outside. There goes an Eagle over to the 32, and that'll set up the offense. Second drive for 10 in blue, Christian Miller, the freshman.
Yeah, good return there by James Briscoe. I don't think either of those returners expecting the football. Regardless, though, solid field position to begin with. We saw this Judson team look for some simple passes early from Christian Miller to the flat to his running backs. I would expect now to see them maybe try and stretch the field and look to get your two playmakers involved in Alvante Vickers and Dakari Ferguson.
Combined 63 catches this year for Vickers and Ferguson. And here goes Christian Miller, take two against the stout Olivet Nazarene front line. Ball's at the 31. On their first drive, Judson made it to midfield, stalled, went for it on fourth, and failed. And here's Miller. There he goes deep. And it's way too deep, out of the reach of Ferguson. So you ask Miller and this offense to go deep. They do go deep, but just not an accurate ball there.
No, not an accurate ball, but I don't think anything was there either. And on 1st and 10, why force it? Excellent job by Damian Savage of Olivet Nazarene going step for step with with Alvante Vickers there. But a good decision by Miller not to force it and ultimately just throw the ball away.
So now Miller on second down for Judson. This program coming off of 500 yards of offense in a demolition of Madonna. And out of the run game, up the middle, stymied right at the 36. There goes Brandon Mackey.
Yeah, good job by Brandon Mackey of able to find a hole, but he paid the price there. Jack Fitzpatrick able to deliver the blow. He paid the price there. It was a good open field hit.
So now a third down test for Judson. This is right around where the offense stalled in their first drive. They went for it on 4th and 2 at the 50, no dice, and Olivet Nazarene took over. So with Sharon Boyd to his right, Christian Miller with just a minute left in the first quarter. Miller, the freshman, calls for it. Miller looking right. Miller going deep and way overthrowing his target. He had a man downfield, but in double coverage. And maybe now, after the incompletion to Jordan West, now maybe a punt.
Yeah, I think you have no choice but to punt. I'll tell you one thing, though. We are getting to see firsthand Christian Miller has exceptional arm strength. Accuracy, I don't want to say that he's been inaccurate because at times there hasn't been anything there and you want to throw it away. And sometimes the best case in a throwaway, throwing it beyond both the receiver and the defensive back where no one can get it.
So no dice for Judson. And the punter now, Franklin Sayers, freshman, boots it. And a muff! Judson recovers! Ball at the 30.
Recover!
Titus Manuka was the returner there. And after he dropped it, very oddly, couldn't find it. Usually you drop the ball, it's right in front of you. It was, but he could not find the football in a huge turn of events there for Judson.
So off a muffed punt, huge opportunity. And that was Keontae Fox falling on it and giving Judson 1st and 10 from the Olivet Nazarene 30. This strikes me, Jared Schlensky, as a moment down 14-0, young program against a really good powerhouse. Got to take advantage. And here we go to Miller. The fake, looking deep. There's the arm strength. And it's too deep once again. And again, looking for 0, Ovante Vickers.
Yeah, they're taking some shots down the field. For the most part, you're seeing a lot of vertical routes. I haven't seen many crossing routes or outs or hitches. They're looking for third-level throws. I'm curious here on 2nd and long, after seeing a couple of deep throws, if Miller looks to check it down and find some guys at the 1st or 2nd level.
Maybe you put the ball on the ground. Sharon Boyd's the running back.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad option. I think you're in 4-down territory, so essentially this is kind of like 2nd down because you know you're going to go for it on 4th. So, yeah, I think a run here makes a lot of sense. A lot of room on the left side. Might not be a bad idea to try go off left tackle with Derek DeVries.
Let's see, 2nd and 10. Miller does indeed hand it off, but Sharon Boyd, nothing to work with. And in the backfield, Drew Hampf, the middle linebacker, right in on the action.
Last week, 9 tackles, a tackle for a loss. Very good job there, expecting the run, filling the gap, and ultimately finishing the play to set up 3rd down.
Clock, 3, 2, 1, and we will go to a break. 14-0. Olivet Nazarene on top of Judson, but a big chance and a big test on 3rd and long coming out of this quarter break for Judson. When we come back, it'll be 3rd and 13 for Christian Miller and the Eagle offense. This is Judson University football. We'll talk soon.
Mental health counseling, human services, administration, organizational leadership, MBA, educational literacy, and ministry and leadership. Visit judsonu.edu and see how Judson can help you develop the leadership skills for your future.
Back at it, 2nd quarter, 3rd and long here in a big test for Judson. Down 14-0, and it's Christian Miller in the shotgun. Big test for the freshman against one of the best defenses in the country. Miller, deep drop. Miller, pass is caught. That's right at the 24, and it'll set up, we think, 4th and short.
Good catch on hand by Ovante Vickers. That ball was a little bit behind him. An even better job by Oscar Grimaldo of Olivet Nazarene, keeping him short of the stick. He is a hard guy to bring down.
So here we go, 4th and short. Big play. And Christian Miller now looks to the sideline.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do there was to get to the line, see if you get him offside, maybe use a timeout, and get on the same page here on 4th down. They don't look like they're on the same page right now.
It's an all-freshman backfield. Miller with Sharon Boyd next to him. Miller to the right. Miller, tuck and run. Miller lost it. It's on the ground, and the Tigers have it. But whistle blows. Looks like they're going to rule an incomplete pass on Christian Miller. So no fumble. It's Olivet Nazarene ball.
Yeah, that's a big break there, too, for Judson. I do think the arm was moving forward, but Damian Savage was well past everybody. 20, 30 yards ahead. He had 6 in his sights, and Miller ultimately just able to get rid of it at the last second.
So far, 0 for 2 on 4th down for the Judson offense. And this is a Judson offense that, coming into today, Jared, was very, very efficient on 3rd and 4th down, hovering right around 50% in both of those categories. But today, 0 for 4.
Yeah, a lot more passing than I initially anticipated. I thought there would be some runs in there, especially on 1st and 2nd down, but they're giving Christian Miller opportunities to showcase his entire skill set.
So now back to David Hutton, who has his 3rd running back of the game, and this is Matthias Clark with a jolt of energy up the middle. He dives out to the 30. It was Ajay Grayson in drive 1. Then Gil Scott Jackson, and now Matthias Clark.
Like we talked about, running back by committee becoming more and more popular across the entire college football landscape. Keep guys fresh. Each running back brings a little bit different skill set to the backfield, and a good burst there. Maybe even the best burst we've seen all game so far.
Best burst? We've seen a few good bursts.
We have.
So that's high praise, as here comes Olivet Nazarene looking to take a 21-0 lead, and that's a pretty good burst. Again, Matthias Clark, and this time to the 40 as a flag comes flying late. That was from the near side judge, and now we await the call.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. It came from the near side judge. Maybe illegal hands to the face, illegal contact, not sure.
Let's see.
Sideline warning, home team, no contact, no yardage penalty. Play resulted in a 1st down.
Wow, 2nd time now, Sam. Both teams have been called once.
The sidelines are not on their game today. Olivet Nazarene called for a 15-yard penalty because of contact. Judson that time just a slap in the wrist, like, hey, guys, get back. But not a good night to be on the sideline.
No.
They are awfully eager. It is a beautiful night, playing football under the lights. I want to get out there, too. And here comes 1st and 10 for Olivet Nazarene. Hutton lofting it deep. He's got a man, and that's Brian Jenkins down the sideline. Jenkins, 4-6. And it's all Tigers here in Carpentersville.
Really nice pitch and catch there between quarterback Hutton and Jenkins. Looked to be an out and up. Initially, I thought maybe it was a hitch and go. Looked like he deked to the sideline, pump faked. Jenkins lost his man in coverage. Very nice job there by Hutton. Not trying to be perfect with the ball. Saw he had an open man in Jenkins, put it on him just enough ahead of him, an easy 6.
He was wide open there. 60-yard connection from David Hutton to Brian Jenkins. And now to Gyra for the extra point. And for Jenkins, by the way, his 3rd touchdown of the season, sophomore out of Lafayette. And DeGuira went down, but DeGuira put it in. And it's 21-0 Olivet.
And that's what it was. It was a hitch and go. So it was initially what I said. I thought it was at first maybe an out and up. Instead of hitch and go, Jenkins connects was the quarterback Hutton. And this offense so far has possessed the ball 3 times. They've got 3 touchdowns.
Pitch and go he did. Brian Jenkins caught it on that near sideline. He had nothing but daylight for the score. And this Olivet Nazarene offense so far all over Judson. 21-0, 3 possessions, 3 scores, and that drive pretty quick and easy after 2 longer, more methodical drives for Olivet Nazarene. So here's the question now. You're down 21-0. We've seen a lot of deep attempts from Judson. What's the plan of attack for drive 3?
Well, the good thing is you still got a lot of time left in this game. There's 13 minutes remaining in the 1st half. We saw them run the ball a little bit early on, and they had some success. I wouldn't say great job running the ball, but they had some success. I think at this point you've tried enough of those down the field throws. I would like to see the Judson try and get some of those running backs like Mackey and Bruce involved early on in this drive particularly.
A lot of time left. I mean, here's the thing. If all football games were over after 17 minutes, it would be a lot more boring. So we have quite a bit of time on our hands, and here's a nice special teams stumble bumble out to the 35. And Judson will have nice field position to start.
Very nice return on hand by Michael Porter. Going from the far side to the near side, able to use the stiff arm. And again, Judson is getting good field position in around their somewhere between the 25 and 30. A lot of options here, down 21-0. I'd like to see him try and run the football, though.
Remember Aubrey Williams, the usual starter for Judson. He's out. Little finger issue after throwing into a helmet in practice last week. He missed last week's win against Madonna. He's out tonight, so again, for the third drive, here's Christian Miller. He's got 3 to his right against a Tiger defense that has been stout. And a slant route, that one is nearly picked off. Instead, it's batted down. Reese Jackson right there to jump the route.
Yeah, he jumped it indeed. No chance there. Christian Miller looking to find Dakari Ferguson on the slant. He read it perfect. And again, another first down pass.
So going for the short pass this time. Judson changing the look as we'll have a 2nd and 10 here. That's Brandon Mackey now, the 5'6" running back out of McRae, Georgia. He's lined up over to Miller's right. Miller looking left. Miller rifles it far side. He's got West. And Jordan West gives us 3rd and short.
Nice simple out route towards the boundary. Able to spin forward, pick up a little bit extra yards. And being down 21-0, I wouldn't say it's entirely panic time, but I would strongly consider going for it on 4th down if it comes up here, if you're Coach Pavlicek.
3rd and short, and a big chance for Christian Miller if he can keep these chains moving. Momentum all with the Tigers. Can Judson do something to turn the tide? Hard count, and now Miller goes. Handoff up the middle and engulfed in the backfield. There was nothing, no room for Brandon Mackey. And now a 4th down decision, Jared.
Yeah, 4th down decision. You lose a couple. You've gone for it every time so far. I think you got to go for it again. I think you're in a little bit of no man's land around midfield. I think the right thing to do here is keep your offense on the field.
And Coach is listening to you. Dan Peplazik building this program, his first year, the program's first year, going for it on 4th down for the 3rd time. And this one's a 4th and 3 at the 43. Miller looking right. He rifles it, and a little miscommunication there with his wideout, Avante Vickers. Again, turning it over to Olivet Nazarene.
I think he was looking for him to break towards the sideline on an out route. Ferguson cut that inside almost on a slant, and instead a turnover on downs. And if you're this Judson University football team, this defense needs to come up with a stop or at least hold them to a field goal to still keep it a 3-score game.
So far, David Hutton has led a really efficient attack. 3 drives, 3 scores. Last one was a 60-yard connection on a touchdown down the sideline from Hutton to Brian Jenkins. And now just scrumptious field position from the Judson 43. It's Hutton out of the shotgun. And Hutton puts it right in the chest of Ajay Grayson for 7 yards up the middle.
Grayson was the first running back we saw early on, Sam, in this game. But like we've talked about, running back by committee, we've seen Grayson, we've seen Jackson, also seen a couple other guys there in the backfield. I like how Coach Heyman getting everybody involved.
Ajay Grayson, he's the New Yorker. Matthias Clark, we've seen, he's from Kankakee. And then Gil Scott Jackson, who scored on drive 2, he's out of California. So you got the running backs all over the map for Olivet Nazarene, University based down in Bourbonnais.
You got single coverage again on Jenkins. Let's see if he goes there.
Hutton to the right, lofting it deep. He's got it! And a touchdown for Olivet Nazarene. Again, David Hutton with a deep loft, and this time it's to his man, Jalen Dunnigan, the all-conference performer, and Olivet Nazarene continues a trouncing.
Yeah, they like going to that man coverage with one safety high, Judson does. And when you've got one safety high, you're going to take your shot vertical to the sidelines. Why? There's no safety help, one-on-one coverage. Hutton with a really nice ball, maybe his best throw the entire day to Dunnigan.
That was a beauty, and he led Jalen right into the end zone perfectly on a dime. So 4th extra point now for DeGuira. And he goes right through 28-0. Olivet Nazarene. Now panic time, Jared?
No, I wouldn't say panic time, but yes, a little bit more of a sense of urgency. Definitely want to be able to cover ground as quickly as possible, down 4 scores.
So it's urgent time for Judson. And now Christian Miller and this offense looking for something, as it's been all Olivet Nazarene. That was a 38-yard connection from David Hutton to Jalen Dunnigan. So Hutton's got 2 passing scores, 1 rushing score. Or check that, 3 passing scores, 1 rushing score. Really all over the place. Redshirt sophomore hails from Brookfield, Wisconsin. He won the Midwest League Offensive Player of the Year last year. 7th in the entire NAIA in yards. He's picking up right where he left off last season. He's got his team on the verge of 3 wins in its first 4.
Yeah, he looks like a former Player of the Year right now. 9 of 10, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. What's most impressed me, his ability to hit on the deep ball. Not only has he done it once for a score, he's done it twice. He's found Dunnigan for 6. He's found Jenkins for 6.
First conference test for Judson, and now backs against the wall early. We've played just 20 minutes so far, and already 4 scores for Olivet Nazarene. And this is really, in program building, this is when you learn what you've got, right? All the adversity in the world, 28-0. You know, in building a program, you're not going to go 9-0 off the bat. You will have games like this. So if you're Coach Paplazic, Jared, what do you want to see here out of your offense?
100% effort. Obviously, it's common sense. You want to see everybody play hard to the whistle, but it can be frustrating getting down early. As long as the effort is there, the attention to detail, I think that's all you can ask for.
So now back to the freshman Christian Miller, who undoubtedly will be one of the cornerstones for this program. At the 36, he feeds Boyd, and a little run, gain of maybe 2. And going to the ground, which you wanted to see, Jared.
Yeah, I like the idea of just giving Olivet Nazarene a different look. They've seen a lot of pass. Everybody's been able to drop back. Granted, the safety, Damian Savage, able to read that well, coming in down from the box. A good job there all the way around by this Olivet Nazarene defense being prepared.
2 members of this Olivet Nazarene defense were first-team all-conference last year. Princeton Harris from the back line, and Jason Freeman up front. He was the Defensive Player of the Year in the Midwest League. So 2nd and long, and now Miller. Pass is caught right on the sideline. And complete. Got his feet down and everything. And a big jolt of energy from Ovante Vickers. First down for Judson.
By no means was that bad coverage by Princeton Harris. That was the best throw today from Christian Miller. Put it in a spot only where Ferguson could catch the football, able to get a foot down and maintain possession.
You said you wanted complete effort, and on a muddy, wet, slick field after torrential downpour, a dive like that screams effort.
Yeah, I don't know what your car ride was like here, but it was mostly
Wet.
rain for me.
It was wet. Well, actually, it was dry in the car. And here's a handoff to the right side. Nice little burst of energy. And Brandon Mackey has a first down.
Really nice job there, breaking off the first tackler, staying on his feet. That was Savage, who made a tackle earlier on Mackey. Able to break free from him this time and move the chains. And now starting to sustain a drive. Going to try and keep this defense off balance, get to the line right away.
Well, we know the power of momentum. 2 first downs in a row for Judson. First of the night that didn't come via a penalty. And now they've got 1st and 10 at the Nazarene 37. There's Vickers in motion. And it's Miller. He fakes it. Looking deep, but instead goes short, and an interception. Whistle blows, though.
Yeah, he
Looks
caught
like
it with a
that'll
knee
be
on the ground.
Called back.
Yeah, he caught the ball with a knee on the ground. That was Damian Savage again. We've been calling his name a lot, and that was a very nice catch, able to get both elbows underneath the ball. Yeah,
so
not
they
the NFL.
are going to turn it over here. Damian Savage with his first interception of the season, redshirt sophomore out of Orlando. It was right to him.
Yeah, in the NFL, he might get 6 points, but here in the college football landscape, anytime your knee touches the ground with possession of the football, you are down.
Pitch and catch. And here comes David Hutton in that Olivet Nazarene offense. And this time it's 22 in the backfield. Gil Scott Jackson right next to him. So after the interception, that was a big momentum squasher. Here goes Jackson, just about a yard to the 30. And now 2nd and long.
A lot of different guys that we've seen on defense today, but a good job there by E.J. Glover, Conference Player of the Week last week on defense, able to get on the action there for this Judson defense.
So just when we saw momentum in Judson's favor, 2 first downs in a row on the pass to Vickers, the run from Mackey, the big interception, squashes it. And here we go, 2nd and long, it's David Hutton. Hands off Jackson. He stretches, he's got it to the 35.
Very nice crease there on the left side of the offensive line by Griffin and O'Mara. We talked about the right side earlier in Price and Rainey, right tackle and right guard. This is a very young offensive line, Sam. 4 freshmen and a sophomore, but a good job on the left side, creating a crease there for the halfback.
So let's see if Judson can come up now with the 3rd down stop. We've seen mightily efficient offensive numbers for Olivet Nazarene on 3rd and 4th. And here's Hutton to his right. His receiver slipped, and Judson comes up with its first turnover of the ball game. After 7 last week, here's Franklin Sayers for the first of this week. A big pickoff.
Yeah, that's a bad break for Olivet Nazarene more than anything. It's not a bad throw, but as you said, the receiver slipped, and guess who was right there? Sayers able to haul it in, and another nice job there of just corralling the football, getting those elbows underneath as they both had to go to the ground for it.
So interesting. Judson had these 2 positive plays of momentum, and then that disappeared. And then they get a second chance. So here's life for the Eagles. Let's see what they do for it with a short field. And Miller coming back on. Freshman out of San Antonio. He's a grad of Warren High School. 3 touchdowns, no picks last week in the win over Madonna. It was a game where this offense very much got to stay on script. Go with the plan.
I like Ferguson here Ferguson Vickers by himself on the right side. Instead, they want to go off tackle.
Porter's run going nowhere, and that's a loss of a few.
It's interesting because Ovante Vickers is probably the most explosive receiver on this Judson team. Well, they're not bringing a safety over the top. They're going to keep that safety still in the box in Princeton Harris. Let's see if Miller looks for Vickers on one of these next 2 plays.
Grant Alexander just subbed on. Haven't seen much of him. 22 for Judson. He's going to line up in the slot towards the bottom of your screen. 2nd and long. Judson down 28-0. Looking for something to smile about heading into the halftime locker room. Here goes Miller. Miller across the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Sort of in no man's land.
Yeah, square in route from Dakari Ferguson. It was up and behind him. I'll tell you one thing that we've learned about Christian Miller. He can put some velocity on that football. It's coming in hot, and you got to be ready if you're one of these receivers for Olivet Nazarene.
So 3rd and long now. Got to imagine it's 2 down territory for Judson. Down 4 scores. Let's see what Christian Miller's got as he looks to the sideline.
And now you see that safety on the right side. Kind of keep an eye on that outside matchup with Ovante Vickers. He's given him respect by keeping him over the top.
Miller deep drop. Miller over the middle. He's got a man, and that's Vickers. Vickers to the 10. Vickers, a big connection, 33 yards for Judson.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because when you've got the safety there, you usually want to go to the outside, further away from him. Instead, he found him in the soft spot in that zone coverage. A best throw tonight from Miller, able to hook up with Vickers, as you said, for 33.
This is the closest we've seen Judson to scoring tonight. 28-0, all Olivet Nazarene so far. So let's see, is this the moment for Judson? It'll be 1st and 10 from the 10. And Christian Miller sets up with 5 wide.
Might not be a bad idea to try the quarterback keeper. Haven't seen it a whole lot tonight for this Judson offense.
Miller now bringing Porter in motion, and that's the running back right behind him. Miller fakes the handoff. Pass is batted down right at the line. Drew Hamp right in on it.
Just took a little bit too long to develop. They anticipated a possible run as a result. Defense able to collapse over the top. And a good job there by Miller just getting rid of it.
This has been a really good red zone team through the first 4 games. Judson scoring in this territory 75% of the time. So it's a point where you expect Judson to score. But then again, this Tiger defense, it's awfully tough. So let's see what the freshman Christian Miller has in store on 2nd and 10. Some movement on the front line.
Wow, yeah, they didn't call it initially. Looked to be on the right tackle there, Abe Rizicki.
False start, offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. It remains
and there's
second
the call.
down.
It's on Joe Steinecke. Little flinch.
Yeah, I'm curious what you do here now. The 5-yard penalty backs you up. You're down to 28, so you got to think this is 4-down territory. Really no sense in kicking a field goal. A lot of times teams look to create your basketball pick, so to speak, and try freeing somebody up. Might not be a bad idea to try it here.
So 15 yards, and Miller looking right. Pass is caught. That's Dakari Ferguson. He shimmies to the inside and down to the 1.
Ferguson gets the reception.
Good job by Christian Miller recognizing he had Ferguson on the boundary right near the original line of scrimmage. And a very nice open field miss by Ferguson, making the first defensive back miss. 3rd down, less than a yard. We've seen Judson operate mostly out of the gun. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go under center here. Haven't seen the quarterback keeper. This might be the best time to do it now.
Looks like a tight formation will come here for the Eagles. Down 28-0. 3rd and 1 from the 1. You gotta score. And Miller's gonna line up in the shotgun. So let's see. Christian Miller, the freshman, in a big moment here for Judson. Miller fakes the handoff. Miller roaming right. Miller across the middle. That one just out of the reach of Keontae Fox.
And he had him too. Again, touch has been a little bit of an issue tonight for Christian Miller. If he put a little bit less on it, he might have been able to haul that one in. And on 4th down, you definitely are going for it.
Yeah, you already know Judson's going for it. And now Miller looks over the sideline. His running back on this possession has been Michael Porter. Freshman out of Atlanta has a score this season. And looks like Coach Poplasic's calling timeout.
Not a whole lot of runs so far today called by this Judson offense. They've run the ball 9 times, and they've got a little bit over 20 yards. This might be the best time to maybe line up in the shotgun, then at the last second, bring your quarterback under center and try to dive forward for the goal line.
So that's your call. Coach Slensky.
Yes, Coach Slensky for one play, yeah.
Sending Christian Miller into the line of fire.
Yeah.
And let's see how Olivet Nazarene comes out.
I think that's the way to do it, yeah. Miller's a big body. Ask him to pick up those
6'4",
6 inches.
220.
Yes, ask him to pick up those 6 inches.
It's great to have you all with us here for Saturday Night Football under the lights. Judson and Olivet Nazarene in this first season ever of Judson University football. First win in program history was last week, 41-14 all over Madonna U, and taking on a mighty foe in the Midwest League, Olivet Nazarene, who last year went 8-0, logged the best season in program history. It's great to have you all with us. Sam Brief, Jared Schlensky, and our A-plus production team here at Dundee Crown Football Field. And now here comes Miller. Will he keep it? Will he go behind him to Porter? Will he throw it? 4th and goal from the 1, down 4 scores. Miller gets the snap. Miller rolling right, lofts it deep, and no dice for Christian Miller. He had Vickers in coverage, and they'll turn it back over to the Tigers.
Really surprised not to see a run there on any of those plays, especially 3rd or 4th down. Ultimately, Miller looking for his man Ferguson on the back pylon, just couldn't get it to him.
Homecoming court as well. Once again, alumni award winners, please make your way to
Good possession, though, if you're Judson. Again, it's hard to know what you're going to expect out of a team in its first season, and not just in this conference, but in general. Judson University has not ever had a football program. So for them to get that win last week against Madonna and then transition into conference play, sometimes it's really hard to get up after such high morale with a win the following week or the previous week.
Let me have your attention,
day
please.
And night.
The chains
with the day
have
being
broken.
last week against
It
Madonna.
is disconnected from the backside
you
of
rack
the
up
two
500
posts.
yards of offense.
We do have.
This would be the night, down 28-0 so far. But still time, 5 minutes to
We
go.
are getting a
second
new
quarter.
set, so
then we got a whole
we have
second
officials
half
timeout.
coming on the other side. So 99 yards now. And this might be a moment for the Judson defense where, okay, you know you have 99 yards of green grass behind you. You're down 28-0. You got to send the house here.
That's a big risk to take, too, especially because Hutton has been so accurate with the deep ball. When you're backed up like this, a lot of the time you see those receivers on the outside run straight verticals. Don't be surprised to see Jenkins or his go-to target in Dugan try to stretch across the defensive backs.
Looks like we have something I've never seen, a chain breakage issue over on the far sideline. See all the orange sticks over there. Looks like one of the chains broke. I mean, it's 2021. We still use the chain gang and not like virtual, computer chip chains. So the chain's broken. The chain is being fixed. Can't play without the chains. But we do have two chains here. So they'll be flipped over.
Is he performing
and
tonight?
We can play.
Is Two Chains performing tonight?
No, literally two chains.
I know.
But wouldn't that be a halftime
Thank you to staff
surprise?
for the
It
quick
would be.
That'd
help.
be really something else.
Have you ever seen him perform live? I haven't.
No, I haven't. But tonight I've seen a chain substitution on a football field. And here we go. New chain gang on. 99 yards to go for Olivet Nazarene. And a run up the middle gets a little bit of breathing room for the Tiger offense. That was Ajay Grayson up the middle.
Yeah, good job there by Grayson, just giving your offense a little bit of breathing room. But like we talked about earlier, we've seen Jenkins on a deep ball connect for 6 with Hutton. We've also seen Dunigan do it. I would not be surprised to see one of these next two plays where David Hutton takes a shot deep to one of those two receivers.
Hutton's now got Matthias Clark right behind him. 2nd and 9 from their own 2. Already up 28-0, and Olivet Nazarene looking to pour it on. Hutton looking deep. Hutton has a man, and it's Jenkins again at the 40. That's Brian Jenkins to the 30. Jenkins to the 20. Jenkins to the 10. 98 yards, touchdown Tigers.
And I don't know if you saw it there, Sam. He used the ref as a block. The ref was able to get in the way of one of the defensive backs there. But like we talked about, when you're backed up like that, the best option is deep, straight deep. And when you've got speed like Jalen Dunigan, that's what you do there.
Flag on the field. It's at the Judson 35, and after a 98-yard connection, this is a big call.
I don't know what it could be. Maybe a legal block on the after the catch, and a beautiful run after the catch by the receiver there and Brian Jenkins.
So right at the 50, our head official.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, maybe another sideline warning?
The sidelines have not been on their A game between the Judson warning, the Olivet Nazarene penalty, and the chain issue. Not the best night to be down there. So it was a 98-yard score, at least for
Sideline
now.
interference. Olivet Nazarene, a non-player, enforced as a dead ball penalty. The result of the play is a touchdown. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So that's 30 yards of sideline interference penalty tonight on the Tigers, but the 98-yard score holds. I think he'll take it.
Yeah, David Hutton does a really nice job of putting a lot of air under his football. When you're backed up inside your own goal line, there's a lot that can go wrong there. He stood tall in the pocket, aired out a beautiful ball on that deep post to Brian Jenkins, who ended up doing all the work afterwards, made him look like the elite quarterback he is.
So that's 2 deep scores to Brian Jenkins, combining for 157 yards on just 2 balls. And here's DeGara once again for his 5th extra point. And DeGara a little low that time. And that one is off for Bryce DeGara. His first missed extra point in 3 years. This guy was 24 of 24 last year. 10 of 10 so far this season.
Hooked
And
to the left.
a little low
Yeah.
and left.
And now Judson might have an opportunity to get their best field position the entire game because of that penalty. He's going to push him 15-yard back. He's going to have to kick from the furthest spot today.
So down 34-0, Jared Schlensky, give me something you want to see out of the Eagle offense here.
I think you got to continue to play to win the game, and obviously 34-0 is a ton to overcome, but they have still approached every possession as if the game is on the line, that they're in the game, and that means they're going to continue to air it out with Christian Miller. Now, we've seen Miller tonight look for 2 guys in particular, Ovante Vickers and Dakari Ferguson. Haven't been able to hook up deep, but maybe some quick out routes, some slants, maybe some deep, some hitches. Just trying to get the ball
This
in their hands
kickoff
and
is
let
from
them
the
do work
20-yard
after the
line
catch.
after enforcement of the penalty.
Speaking of work after the catch, a lot of it tonight from Brian Jenkins. And I'm told, Jared, that is a school record, the longest touchdown pass in Olivet Nazarene history on the 97-yard connection from Hutton to Brian Jenkins. And a big thanks to Sam Vbrock, Sports Information Director over at ONU. Does a spectacular job and getting to report a school record for the Tigers, 97 yards.
Well, that's a record that could stand for a long time because 98 yards is a long ways to go.
Long ways to go for the kicker here, and DeGara ends up getting it pretty deep to about the 18-yard line or so. And now a chance for the good field position. Dakari Ferguson spins his way to the 44.
Brings it up near midfield.
Good return. You've got time for probably one last possession. I think here, if you're Olivet Nazarene defensively, you're going to keep your starters on the field. Usually it's pretty common to see your starters play the whole first half regardless of the score. If you're Judson here, you've got time to put together a drive. If you can get on the scoreboard, get some confidence going into the half.
34-0. Olivet Nazarene is on top, and David Hutton, the quarterback, he's put on a show so far. 10 for 12, 247 yards, 4 scores, and 1 on the ground. So 5 total touchdowns for Hutton. And now to the Judson quarterback, Christian Miller. He's 5 for 17, 74 yards, no scores, but he gets a completion there over to the right side, and Ferguson is into Tiger territory.
Nice catch there by Ferguson. That was a little bit of a low throw. He's made a couple of tough catches, and a good job there by Christian Miller, able to hook up with his go-to target and Ferguson on first down.
Backs against the wall, go to your go-to. And now back to Miller, who's in the backfield with Brandon Mackey. Ball right around midfield for Judson, looking for something before halftime. 3:30 to go in the second quarter. Down 34, and it's Miller looking right. Pass is incomplete.
Incomplete.
He was looking on that near sideline for a hitch route.
Yeah, it looked like his first reaction was to go with it to Ferguson. It wasn't there. Did a good job evading pressure, rolling to his right. I guess the only critique there, maybe keep it on that play, but Christian Miller has not tried to use his legs all that much today.
Miller had 267 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks last week against Madonna. I think in his first conference game, he's getting a taste of what the Midwest League can be like. 3rd and 4, Miller looking a medium-sized route, and he got it over to Avante Vickers into ONU territory.
Nothing too complex there. Ferguson run vertical, find a little bit of a soft spot in that zone coverage, come to a stop. Miller found him, able to play pitch and catch and move the sticks.
And those are new sticks, by the way.
Well, at least one new chain, too, on that far sideline.
Exactly. So 1st and 10 from the 40, 3 minutes until halftime, and it's Christian Miller out of the gun. Miller going deep. This one over to the left side, and really stout coverage over there And the pass incomplete on first down.
Yeah, it looks like Vickers was the intended target, but excellent coverage, man, or step for step on the outside by defensive back. Looks like Lance Walker on the play.
So now 2nd and 10 with 2:50 to halftime. Christian Miller just 7 of 21, and a lot of those passes have been deep. We've seen him really loft that ball a lot tonight, but no dice against a really tough Tiger secondary. So 2nd and 10 from the 40, and Miller calls for it. The fake. Miller again deep, and this time he's got the hook up to Ovante Vickers and a first down.
A little bit of a skinny post there. Kept it vertical, cut it inside, and a good ball by Miller. Like we said earlier, Sam, velocity is not an issue for Christian Miller. He can put some spin on it. He can get it there. It's just a matter of finding touch and accuracy.
At the bottom of your screen, Jordan West just ran on. That's 17 in blue. He's got 1 catch, 8 yards today. And now Christian Miller over the century mark. 114 yards of offense, but nothing to show for so far. Last time we saw Judson with momentum, it was an interception for Damian Savage. So 1st and 10 at the 15, and Porter now running to his left, and he's got nothing. Stymied in the backfield by Josh Mathiasen.
Yeah, trying to go off tackle, stretch run to the far sideline, nothing there. It gets harder to throw the ball down here simply because there's less space. Let's see if Judson, who's been for the most part one-dimensional with that aerial attack, looks to go back to the air. Christian Miller's already thrown the ball 22 times here in the first half.
The rushing offense has been non-existent. 10 rushes and 22 yards for Judson. And now 2nd and 10 with 100 seconds to halftime. Miller looking right. Miller throws another interception. And this time it's Princeton Harris all over it. 2nd pick of the season. And again, Judson momentum dies in the hands of a Tiger.
Yeah, sprint right, pass play. Christian Miller ultimately just not able to get that ball quite far enough to the boundary. And Princeton Harris able to pick him off. Not what you're looking for there, down inside the red zone. That'll hurt you. And now, again, another opportunity for this Olivet Nazarene offense that has shown no signs of struggling of covering regardless of how far they are backed up.
They're all the way at the 5. But we saw David Hutton loft a 3rd down bomb to Brian Jenkins for a 97-yard school record touchdown last time. Now Hutton, he's just going to hand it off. And that's a 1-yard run.
I'm curious here if you're Judson, if you consider using your timeouts. Do you want to try and possess that ball one more time before the second half? If you're Olivet Nazarene, you've had no trouble airing it out. Do you try to continue to pass here?
Actually, a sub-quarterback in here for Olivet Nazarene. It's Cam Crouch, sophomore out of Newark, Ohio, who so far this season has been sort of the wildcat, change-of-pace quarterback. 6 rushes, 80 yards, and a touchdown. And here he hands it off to Ajay Grayson for a gain of 1.
Yeah, we've seen him run the ball a lot. One of the bigger quarterbacks you'll see across the NAIA landscape. And again,
Judson calls their second timeout. They have 1 remaining.
Might have a chance to get this ball one more time before the first half concludes.
So 51 seconds, 3rd and 8 will come on the other side, and Olivet Nazarene up 34-0 over Judson. Sam Brief, Jared Schlensky, and our fantastic production team with you from the press box high atop Dundee Crown Football Field here in Carpentersville. It's just the 5th game in program history for Judson, and a huge conference test tonight against this mighty Olivet Nazarene program. Give me a positive takeaway for any Eagle fans watching.
You've been able to move the football at times. Again, it's asking a lot out of a freshman to come in off the bench and be able to pick apart a defense in a program like Olivet Nazarene. And at times he's been able to do that. The only negative, just not been able to punch it in inside the opponent's 10. That just takes time and experience.
137 yards of offense for Judson, but their 2 efficient drives ended in interceptions. And now here comes Cam Crouch, rolling to his right on 3rd and long, and Crouch, he's just going to go down without much of a fight. And with 40 ticks until halftime, maybe we have the first Olivet Nazarene punt of the night.
Yeah, I think you have to here. A good job by
Judson
head coach
calls their third and final
Pavlicek,
timeout.
using those timeouts, trusting your defense, able to get a 3 and out. I think you have no choice but to send Rychek, the punter, who we have not seen at all tonight.
If you want to know if your team is playing well, see how much you've seen your punter. And we haven't said Andrew Rychek's name until just now. 34-0 Olivet Nazarene. 4th down, 38 seconds to halftime. And we mentioned the 137 yards of total offense for Judson. Well, for the Tigers, how about 347, averaging an even 10 yards of play. That's efficiency.
Yeah, and they've been balanced, too. They've been able to run the football regardless if it's Grayson or Jackson in there. And defensively, they've given up some yards, and that's going to happen, but they've been able to stand tall when it matters most inside their own red zone and pick off Miller not once but twice.
So now finally an Olivet Nazarene punt. And indeed, it's the redshirt freshman Drew Rychek. Long of 53 yards on the season. And he's just a foot away from the goalpost. So backed up. Looks like Judson may send the house. And here's a short boot. Landing out of bounds around the 30. So here, maybe a chance here for the Eagles.
And like you said, they brought the house. And now you've got time still to put something together. 31.6 seconds. The clock stops after first down. You've got the boundaries. Obviously, you get out of bounds. Clock stops too. There is time to find the end zone.
First and 10 for the Eagles.
So 31 seconds. And there's a chance. Ball's at the 22. And Christian Miller's going to run out with his squad. Looks like the running back right now will be Michael Porter. Ball at that left hash.
You have to remember, no timeouts left for Judson. So anything that anyone gets tackled inbounds, you got to get quickly to the line. You almost want to have your second play in your quarterback's ear already.
It's Miller looking left. Now to the right, he rifles it into traffic. And that ball's incomplete. Really tremendous coverage from Reese Jackson.
Good job there of double teaming the slot receiver in Ferguson. That's been his go-to guy. And ultimately, Miller, you would like to see him survey the field a little bit longer. I feel like he's got time to extend the play, and he chose not to.
So now 2nd and 10, 26 seconds. Let's see if Miller takes a little more time here. His offensive line in front of him hasn't done a bad job by any means. A little more experience on that Judson offensive line. And Miller hasn't necessarily been chased down. Now throwing to the right, and that's incomplete, intended for Ferguson. But here comes the yellow laundry.
And it's in the secondary, which makes me think this is going to be on the Olivet Nazarene defense.
Ferguson was tied up with a couple Tigers. Let's see if a penalty gives Judson a first down.
Pass interference, defense, number 34.
Yes, sir.
Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first
so that
down.
One
First and 10 for the Eagles.
will give Judson 1st and 10. It's called against Patrick Rychek, senior out of Inverness, Illinois, grad of Fremd High School, whistled for the PI. So 21 ticks left, first down, right at the 10. Christian Miller with 4 wide. Miller drops back. Miller looking. He's got pressure. He heaves it, and that one's out of bounds. 2nd down.
Good job there by Miller throwing that ball away. The bad news is one of your offensive linemen took a good shot on the play and is down for Judson. Pass protection has held up okay. Miller has had time to throw the football. And so, Sam, you asked me earlier what were some of the positives for this Judson offense. You're able to move the ball, and ultimately you're giving your quarterback time to operate.
Man down is Tyler Silverstrand, 6'4" junior out of Raymond, Nebraska. We really haven't seen Miller on the run too much tonight.
No.
It doesn't look like he's running for his life. He's had time. It's just he's missed a lot of those deep throws.
Yeah, I would say he's probably more comfortable playing inside the pocket. A couple of times the defense has collapsed, forcing him to go outside the pocket, but you can tell he's at his best when he's inside the pocket and can survey the field and go to either his primary read or his secondary read.
So far, Christian Miller without a score for Judson, which trails 34-0. And now we hope Tyler Silverstrand's okay. Imagine Desmond Hill-Thomas, the freshman out of Bartlett, will come on. But here Silverstrand looking gimpy, favoring what looks like that right leg as he's helped off. So 2nd and 9 here for Miller in the offense. Down 34-0, Judson just looking for something, some positive juju heading into the locker room. It's Miller with Porter in the backfield. Freshman and a freshman, both from down south. Miller looks left, throws it into the end zone, and incomplete. 3rd down.
Incomplete.
Back shoulder fade, I believe that was Jordan West he was looking for. Just threw it a little bit too far out of his reach, but a very good read. I thought that was the right decision there to go with the ball.
So 3rd and 9 now and 11 ticks. 2 down territory. And Miller looking over the sideline. Let's see the call. You go for it all at once, take a shot into the end zone. I mean, no timeouts. You don't want to get a play down to the 3-yard line and run for your life to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
I'd imagine 2 shots.
You have to be thinking end zone or sideline. And if you don't get to the sideline, you have to get to the line right away.
Miller takes it. Miller looks right. He throws it into the end zone. And a heaving catch into the backbone. Vontae Vickers has the first Eagle touchdown against a conference opponent in program history.
Yeah, a really good job there on that corner route. Going from the slot all the way to the back pylon as Miller able to hook up with his target, Dakari Ferguson, for 6.
So the touchdown for Judson at last with just 5 ticks until halftime. The first 5 were for Olivet Nazarene, but the last one for Judson and the extra point. That one is good right down the middle, converted by the kicker, Zach Risman, the junior. So 34-7 now, and as we've been sort of imploring and trying to speak into existence, Judson has something to smile about in that locker room.
They do. That's a huge confidence booster to go into the half with some points just to get some sort of momentum. Now, granted, you got a long way to go. You're down 34-7, but you want to be able to just go into the locker room with a little bit sense of pride and positivity, and that's what they were able to do there.
Mentally, Jared, there's something to be said for, okay, maybe you're not going to win the game, and I'm not saying that's impossible, but when you're building a program, when you're playing a sport, you want to have things to cheer about, to smile about, and with that really nice throw to a diving Ovante Vickers, Christian Miller, he gave these fans something to smile about.
He did. That was maybe his best throw of the game. He's had a couple of nice throws, especially when he's going towards the boundary. But we've seen the velocity on the balls. That was touch. And that was something we've lacked a little bit from Christian Miller. And he was able to execute it there.
Something to be said for the finesse.
It's hard. I mean, there's a reason only certain people can play the quarterback position. Able to put touch on it and know where to go with that football, he was able to execute.
Onside kick. Scotty Graziano's got it, and I imagine that'll be the last real play of the first half with just 3 seconds left.
Yeah, I'm curious. I like the idea, right? You're down 34-7. What's the worst thing that happens? Olivet Nazarene tries a Hail Mary. I like the idea of just trying to recover that football. If you're Olivet Nazarene, do you take a shot to the end zone? You've had a lot of success with the deep ball today. Do you just take a knee and say we're going to go up into the half leading 34-7? You've got a couple options here.
Maybe they say, you thought you had something to smile about. We're going to give you something to frown about.
Yeah, it's, we haven't seen a whole lot today of Cameron Crouch especially throwing the ball. I would assume he's going to take a shot to the end zone here.
So here's Crouch out of the shotgun. Crouch looking deep. He's ready to chuck it. Crouch heaves it. That's across his body. And he's got Graziano with the 20. Scotty Graziano knifes through the defense and finally is just blasted down at the 15-yard line. So all Olivet Nazarene in the first half, 34-7. Judson closes with the score, Miller to Vickers. But the story of that first half, David Hutton. 4 scores through the air, 1 on the ground. How about number 4 in white?
Yeah, he's been impressive. There's a reason this guy won the Conference Player of the Year award last season. He's accurate, he knows where he wants to go with the football, and he gets rid of it quickly. When you're able to do those 3 things on a consistent basis, you're going to have success. Not to mention, offensive line has protected him well, and his receivers have been able to create separation, especially on those third-level throws down the field in Jenkins and Dunigan. There's a lot to like about this Olivet Nazarene football team.
We imagine Hutton's out of the game because we've seen only Cam Crouch in relief. So David Hutton, 10 of 12, 247 yards, 4 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground, and 1 interception. No doubt first half player of the game. Also scores from Gil Scott Jackson, from Brian Jenkins, and Jalen Dunnigan. It's 34-7. It's Olivet Nazarene all over Judson as we've come to halftime. So enjoy the halftime, have a nice little break, and we'll come back after this break. Again, Sam Brief, Jared Schlensky, and the fantastic production crew here at Dundee Crown Football Field for the first ever conference game for Judson University football. And you are watching a presentation of the Judson University Eagles. We'll be back for half 2 after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 2 days, Judson University has had this privilege of honoring several alumni for their success as students, as scholar athletes, and for their accomplishments after graduation from the university. Tonight, we recognize these alumni. The Distinguished Alumni Award is given to recognize alumni who have made outstanding contributions to the profession and community as they model excellence in their vocation. This year's recipients include Ken and Nancy Morgan from the class of 1967. Lynn Long from the class of 1984. And Tim Schofield from the class of 2014, who could not be here tonight. The athletic department honored 3 former scholar athletes and a coach for their accomplishments as Judson Eagles. Coach Karen Swanson was the head coach of the best 5-year run in women's volleyball program history. She led the Eagles to 3 NAIA Great Lakes Sectional Championships and 3 NCAA National Tournament appearances, finishing in the top 5 teams nationally in each season. Swanson coached 4 Judson Hall of Fame members, holds the best winning percentage in program history, and is tied for the most wins in program history. And Karen was not able to be with us this evening. Ed Ellen, class was one member of the soccer team, basketball team, and track team. He was a conference champion in javelin while setting an Olympic qualifying mark. He earned All-Conference in several other events in track and field, while also being named All-Conference twice in basketball and earning 2 letters in soccer. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Allen. The Family Legacy Award is given to families of alumni, trustees, faculty, and or staff for their dedication and service to Judson University over several generations. The Gauger family is this year's recipient. They are represented this evening by Randy Gauger from the class of 1969, his wife Mary Gauger, their daughter Chrissy Dogod from the class of 1994, daughter Kathy Lepke, and granddaughter Emma Lepke, granddaughter Anna Benskin, and her husband Brandon. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give all these Judson Eagles a big round of applause. And now the homecoming court.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing tonight? Well, my name is Aubrey Flickema. I'm the Dean of Student Life and Leadership here at Judson, and it is my honor tonight to introduce you to this year's 21-22 Homecoming Court. How do we feel about that? Okay, so we have our freshmen, Vero Costa and Gordon Thompson, Queen and King. We have our sophomores, Eliza Lewis and Trey Lehman, Queen and King. Our juniors, Sarah Folger and P. Jeeton Kalangango. And our seniors, Jennifer Carberry and Gavin Smith. Let's give one more big round of applause for our homecoming court.
Jared Schlensky alongside Sam Brief. Our score 34-7. We thank you for tuning in via the Judson University Eagles YouTube page. Sam, a very entertaining first half. Olivet Nazarene really dominating this game from the get-go. Didn't look back. David Hutton, the quarterback, what more can you say? Conference Player of the Year a year ago for a reason. 10 of 12, 247 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. But Judson able to close out the half on a high note. They find the end zone with Christian Miller hooking up with with Ovante Vickers. What do you look to see from both teams as we approach the start of the second half?
Well, for Judson, they ended the first half with the energy, what you just mentioned, the Christian Miller connection to Ovante Vickers. You're starting with the ball in the second half. You got to get a score. I mean, it's easy for us to say, oh, it's a long game, it's a long game. But at a certain point, it becomes a short game. So you've got to score right off the bat. And presumably with David Hutton out of the game, he didn't play that last drive of the first half, you just can't give up any points. You've got to start perfectly if you're Judson.
Bryce DeGore to kick off to begin the third quarter. And we are underway. Working the far sideline to Corey Ferguson, able to get out to about the 30. And that's where Judson University will go to work here to begin the second half. One thing's certain, Judson likes to throw the ball. 28 passing attempts overall. Christian Miller, the starting quarterback, just a freshman with 27 attempts, able to complete 9 passes. Let's see if this Judson team goes to the air here to begin the second half.
You know what I thought was the biggest play of that first half, Jared? It was the first drive of the game for Olivet Nazarene. They had a 3rd and 13 and converted it with a long pass from Hutton to Graziano. That really set the energy for a dominant first half.
As always throughout this game, Miller in the gun. Off tackle run, Mackey past the 30 to the 34, and it's the freshman from Georgia, Brandon Mackey, able to pick up good yardage. Good open field tackle by Reese Jackson, and a good start for this Judson University offense, and surprisingly, going to the ground to begin.
Yeah, changing the narrative, right? It was pass, pass, pass. You were sitting here saying, let's run a little bit, and here you go, some run.
Second down. Another run for Mackey, and this time he is stood up. Good job gang tackling there, led by the Mike linebacker, Drew Hamp, and it's going to set up 3rd down.
We've had a lot from Drew Hamp tonight. Redshirt junior out of Michigan City, Indiana. He's been all over. He really anchors that defense from the middle. 47 in white. Keep an eye on him here on a big second down.
Not a lot of runs, as we said, in the first half. In fact, they ran the ball 10 times only in the first half. Now they're going to come out, run it here to begin the second half, not once but twice. And they're going to set up a 3rd down and about 8 to go. Miller with time. Pump fakes, can't escape. Taken down in the backfield, ball comes out. Fortunately for Judson, they recover it. And Reese Vicine, able to get to Miller, is going to force a 4th down.
Yeah, the scene was all over it. He just beat his man, and he clobbered Christian Miller. And looks like Miller and the offense are going to stay on the field. I mean, down 34-7. Yeah, I guess from your own 30, it seems odd, but you need a score. You're not going to score on a punt. So here we go for Judson on 4th and long.
Need their own 45 to set up a new 1st down. Miller with time, rolls to his right and keeps and goes nowhere. Surprised to see him try to use his legs. You need a pickup of over 15. I think if he could have it back, that's a ball you'd like to at least see him try and air it out and give your receiver a chance to pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, Miller maybe operating with a slick football, right? We both talked about our drives in the torrential downpour. It's a wet field, wet footballs, and Miller maybe succumbing to that here. And by the way, it is 4th down now. That was a 3rd and long play, so here's the punter, Franklin Sayers.
I thought that was 3rd down. My apologies. Low snap, and we've got a fake. Here we go. The 1st down and a hurdle. Oh, baby. How about some excitement for you here at Judson University? Ryan Oti up and over and able to pick up a fresh first down.
Judson, first down.
I love the punch of energy right there. I mean, down 34-7. You pull out whatever you can, and Judson sent a little spicy message early on. Remember the first play of the game was that funky lateral deep pass? Here, fake punt. Why the heck not? It sure worked with the 20-plus yard gain.
A pickup of 24 on the play. Sets up a new first down and inside Olivet Nazarene territory. Miller to Mackey. Inside, makes a couple men miss, and able to pick up a new first down. Hard running by Brandon Mackey, and an excellent job of finding the crease. Sharon Boyd able to keep him from finding the end zone, but some good running plays early on from this Judson offense. Another run, and nowhere to go. That time, Brandon Mackey able to pick up about 5. He's going to set up second down, and a good balanced attack early on from this this Judson offense.
Yeah, more runs. Of course, the fake punt helps, but we're seeing some more balance. And Christian Miller, as a freshman, you're building this program, right? Win or lose in this game, you want to get used to a sustained drive, and he's got a chance for that here.
Miller with time. Steps up, escapes pressure, and for a moment able to pick up a couple of yards before meeting Drew Hanf.
Miller's been pretty good at times in that off-script sort of situation when the line in front of him collapses. He's got to tuck and run. I like his vision. He's a bigger quarterback, Christian Miller, at 6'4", and that time able to eke out a few yards where some other quarterbacks might just crumple and take a sack.
Let's see what Judson has drawn up here on third down. Blitz comes. Miller able to get rid of it quickly, but cannot hook up with his running back in the flat and Jason Freeman. And that's going to set up another fourth down.
Jason Freeman totally unblocked, and that's the reigning Midwest League Defensive Player of the Year, just storming at you. Got to be terrifying for the freshman Miller. Way to get the ball out, right? And now he's got a big fourth.
Judson needs the Olivet Nazarene 18 to pick up a new first down. Empty set.
Vickers single coverage, bottom of the screen. He's got the only touchdown.
Low snap, Miller corrals. Pitch and catch, and able to find his man for a first down and then some. Good job there by Christian Miller, finding Jordan West for the first down.
Okay, here we go. Now a more sustained drive for Miller. 2 for 2 on fourth down, the fake punt, and then this time a little more old school with a pitch and catch.
Quickly back to the line. Seven in the box for Olivet Nazarene. Miller, far sideline, finds his man, squirms past a couple, and in for 6. Dakari Ferguson able to do the work after the catch, and Judson University finds the end zone for the second time tonight. Christian Miller to Dakari Ferguson. And it's all of a sudden 34-13.
So nice little bullet throw there from Christian Miller. First touchdown, we saw him loft it, right? That little touch pass, little finesse. That time, a sharp bullet. And here we go, maybe a little more of a ball game. And now for the extra point.
An 11-play drive covering 75 yards in right around 5 minutes. Point after, Little to the left, no good. But Judson able to sustain that momentum that they had from the first half. They get another touchdown, and all of a sudden, it's a 21-point game. We'll take our first time out here of the second half on the Judson University YouTube channel. When we come back, it'll be Judson kicking off to Olivet Nazarene with 9:13 remaining here in quarter number 3. Eleven plays, 75 yards. Christian Miller able to hook up with Dakari Ferguson from 10 yards out. And Judson University has scored 2 touchdowns today in their inaugural conference game. Bad news, they trail 34-13, but we talked about this being a learning experience, Sam, for this Judson football program. And so far, a good start to begin the second half.
Yeah, there's more to football, more to sports, more to life than winning and losing. And, of course, the goal is to win. You're only down 3 touchdowns. There's time, but also big growth experience. You succeed on a fake punt, 4th down conversion, and then the nice sharp bullet pass from Christian Miller to Dakari Ferguson for the score.
Room to run for Olivet Nazarene. Couple of men miss, and sliding forward past midfield, Jack Vance. And good field position to begin for the ONU Tigers.
So who's going to come out? Will we see number 4 or number 9? 4 is David Hutton, who scored all 5 touchdowns for the Tigers. And number 9 would be the backup, the freshman, the change of pace, Wildcat quarterback, Cam Crouch. And I see a number 9.
I'm a little surprised. What about you? This is all of a sudden a 3-score game instead of a 4-score game.
I mean, here's the thing. If this one falls apart real quick for Olivet Nazarene, you're going to see number 4 back in the game real soon. But, I mean, if you're Eric Heyman, you got to see what your backup's got. Time for Cam Crouch to roll.
Crouch to Jackson here to begin the second half for this ONU Tigers offense. Not a whole lot there. And it's going to bring up second down. Cameron Crouch came in towards the end of the second quarter through 1 pass completed. It was the final play of the first half for 32 yards. And we've seen him run one time for a loss of 2 yards. Let's see if they open up the playbook a little bit more for the backup quarterback. They've used him a lot as a runner this season. He's found the end zone a couple of times, but now tonight getting more playing time than usual. Airs it out deep. Far sideline, and incomplete. Was looking for Brian Jenkins, who has 2 touchdowns today. Just a little bit too far out of his reach.
Okay, so the verdict on Crouch is, yes, he's got an arm. He's a quarterback. He can rifle it downfield. Just missed Jenkins, but that was awfully close, Jared.
Indeed it was. Going to bring up 3rd and 8.
This is big for the Judson defense. If you can get a stop, force a punt, turn it over to your offense.
They rush 4. Quick hitter. That's Dunigan. Dunigan keeps squirming forward past the 30, close to the 25, and a pickup of close to 20 yards on 3rd and long.
And there was a blitz coming from the corner right next to Dunigan. So Dunigan saw his man come in, he squirmed over to the middle and read that one like a pro. That's why he's a veteran.
Crouch gives to Matthias Clark, and nowhere to go there on first down as we are close to the halfway point here in quarter number 3.
That 3-headed rushing attack. Matthias Clark, Gil Scott Jackson, and Ajay Grayson. Each of them with over 5 carries.
Pass sails over the head of Clark, was looking to him in the flat, and it's going to bring up 3rd down. You talked about it in the pregame and during the game. They've got a really good kicker. In fact, I would say an elite kicker in Bryce DeGuerra.
The E word.
Yeah, elite. Along the 50 this season, 4 for 6 on the year in field goals. Didn't miss a field goal or an extra point a year ago. Might not be a bad idea if you can't pick it up in a game like this to try and get him out there and see if he can pick up a long field goal on a wet field. 3rd down. Crouch drops back. All sorts of time. Steps up, uses his legs, dodging defenders left and right, and gets very close to the marker, but going to be short on 3rd and 9.
This is an interesting decision. DeGuerra just came on the field, and then he was called off by Eric Heyman, who's going to go for it, which I think makes sense. They've been mighty efficient, have the Tigers on 4th down. 75% on the season, perfect tonight. Let's see what Cam Crouch can do, 4th and short.
4th down, 3 to go, an early movement. Question is, who's it on?
It's on the Tigers.
Offense,
and it is someone on that left side jumps early.
It remains 4th down.
And here's DeGuerra.
And I'm excited to see this. DeGuerra
called off again.
Again.
And look at the frustration, 24 in white at the top of your screen. He ran on the field, ready for the field goal. His coach called him off. He was upset, and now here he comes. So just a whole storm of emotion for DeGuerra, and now he gets his chance.
And the ball is at the 25, so this would be a 42-yard field, or I'm sorry, a 52-yard field goal.
Well, he's going to kick it from the 34, so we got 43, 44 yards.
44, yeah. Low snap, Corral, DeGuerra has the distance. And right down Broadway makes it look easy. He had room to spare, too. DeGuerra from 44. And it's a 37-13 game. Olivet Nazarene gets their first points of the second half.
That's not an easy kick, and wet field, humid night. When we look out there under the stadium lights, there's a sort of haze. That tells you meteorologically, whoa, that's a heck of a word. You know, the air is very dense. Ball is not going to move as fast. So for DeGuerra, you can almost add 5 yards right there, right? What a big leg for the junior.
A successful offensive drive, though, put together by the ONU Tigers. 6 plays, took off about 3 minutes, and able to extend that lead to 24. Jared Schlensky alongside Sam Brief here on the Judson University Eagles YouTube channel. Special thanks to everybody here in the production studio, and everybody associated with Judson Athletics for making this broadcast possible. Wondering why we're not at Judson? Well, they're still getting in the works of a football field. We are at Dundee Crown High School, playing at one of the better playing surfaces you'll see across the IHSA.
Yeah, this is a beautiful field. They run a great operation here, and the whole staff at Judson, Austin Anderson, so many up here in the press box, running a tight ship. Great operation in the first year of the program.
DeGuerra kicks off, maybe his best kick of the night. Brings Ferguson inside his 5 and out past the 20, close to the 25. And that is where the Judson offense will go to work before a late flag. Late push came in. Looked like he was on Olivet Nazarene.
Oh, here we go. Now it's a football game. Now we're getting spicy.
And that's a fresh 15. Question is, are we going to have any ejections? Is this just a personal foul?
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 27, kicking team. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
No ejection. Personal foul against Lance Walker is going to move the ball 15 yards. And Judson is going to go to work now from their own 38.
So finally a personal foul in the field of play after 3 penalties and warnings on sidelines.
First and 10.
Saw a couple, as you said, sideline warnings. One made contact with the player in the field, the other 2 were not.
So let's see what we get from Christian Miller here. Touchdown drives in each of his last 2.
6:28 to go here in the third. Miller drops back with time, slings it, and unable to haul it in despite getting fingertips on the football. Ovante Vickers can't haul it in, and it brings up second down. We saw a good balance of run and pass for Judson to begin their first series of the second half. You want to see Judson continue to use whether it be Nigel Bruce or Brandon Mackey at the running back position here on this drive?
Yes and no. I love the idea of balance as movement comes up front, but also you're down 24 points.
Full start offense number 72, 5-yard
that
penalty.
movement won't help you, but you're down 24
down.
points. I think, down 24, 6 minutes left in the third quarter. You can't run. So that's why I'm kind of yes in theory, but no in practice.
Second down and 15 for Judson. They've kept their starters on the field the whole game. For the most part, Olivet Nazarene has used their second unit here in the second half. Miller drops back, avoids pressure, keeps, and goes nowhere. Tackled on the play by Jason Freeman.
He got clocked.
And that's going to bring up third and long, a pickup of none.
Totally rocked. And Jason Freeman, this guy is just a force. And they have a really good 1-2 punch, Olivet Nazarene, in the linebackers. Jason Freeman, he's more your edge rusher, stop the run type, whereas Drew Hamp, you'll see him more in coverage in that second level, and we've seen them both a lot tonight. Number 6, number 47, all over.
Third down and 15. Judson needs their own 49 to move the sticks. 4-man rush. Miller over the middle, picked off. Intercepting that pass, Patrick Rychek. Rychek, no relation to the punter, Andrew, who we only saw in the first half, picks off Miller on third and long, and Olivet Nazarene with great field position here for their second series of this half.
Yeah, third interception for Olivet Nazarene, and as good as this defense is, it hasn't really been a turnover machine so far, only forcing 5 turnovers through the Tigers' first 3 games, but then 3 tonight, and each time squashing any momentum for Judson. And with a 24-point lead, 5 minutes left, third quarter, a score here could be deadly. Would be deadly.
Just tuning in, it was all Olivet Nazarene to begin, able to go up 34-0. Judson able to get a touchdown to close out the first half, able to get a touchdown to begin the second half. And then Olivet Nazarene able to get 3 before that pick. Jump pass from Crouch, nowhere near his intended target, and Titus Manuka going to bring up second down. If you're Judson, you're winning the second half. You like that. You're seeing the effort. If you're Olivet Nazarene, the second unit, though, by no means have just given in and have run the ball. They are still playing to score points.
No doubt. Cam Crouch, too, you want to develop. I mean, this is a guy who's the future of your program, right? He's a freshman. David Hutton's only got so much time left.
Crouch keeps on the option, makes everybody miss past the 30. A pickup of 15 on the play, and a new set of downs for the ONU Tigers.
Yeah, we know Cam Crouch can do that, right? He's tremendous with his legs. As the Wildcat quarterback, he's really efficient. But now, if you're Olivet Nazarene, Eric Heyman, the head coach, you want to see the future of your program, Cam Crouch, really develop himself as a pocket passer.
This time Jackson up the middle. Gets to the 25 for a pickup of 3. And it's going to set up second down. Talked about running by committee earlier. First 3 possessions, 3 different backs. Ajay, Grayson, Gilson, Scott, and Matthias Clark. They've got depth at that position, that's for sure, Sam.
It was really interesting, too, how it was split up.
Crouch keeps, rumbles forward for the first down, still on his feet as a late flag comes in. And pending the penalty, another first down for the Tigers.
And we'll wait for the word on that penalty. But, Jared, running backs by committee, we see them all the time, college, high school, NFL. But that time, early on, it was by drive.
Offense, number 30. 10-yard penalty.
A hold against Latrell Wade,
down.
one of the receivers blocking on the play. Is going to negate the pickup there and is going to move Olivet Nazarene back 10 yards.
Wasn't it interesting in that first quarter, right? Ajay Grayson was the running back for the entire first drive. Then Gil Scott Jackson, then Matthias Clark. Just rare to see it divvied up by drive.
Yeah, I like it. The diversity, I think, keeps defenses off balance. 2nd and 17. Crouch rolls left, throws right. Clark to the 30, 20. Blockers ahead. 10, 5. High steps into the end zone for 6. A little pitch and catch from Crouch to Clark. And it is now 43-13 in favor of Olivet Nazarene.
Wow, that was tremendous shiftiness from Matthias Clark, and exactly the type of thing you want to see from a little 5'7" freshman who knows how to weave in between the blockers. That time in open space, right? A different position than what he's used to in that second, third level. Matthias Clark, excellent. And another highlight reel play for the Tigers.
DeGuerra for the PAT. Gets it to go, and it is now a 31-point lead for the 13th-ranked Olivet Nazarene Tigers. 3:45 remains here in quarter number 3. We're going to take a quick timeout here on the Judson University Eagles YouTube channel. When we come back, we'll be ready to resume action. Cameron Crouch finds his shifty halfback Matthias Clark on a 34-yard scamper, and it is now 44-13 in favor of the 13th-ranked Olivet Nazarene Tigers. Jared Schlinsky alongside Sam Brief for this Midwest Conference action matchup tonight here on the campus of Dundee Crown High School. Bryce DeGuerra, who made the PAT, kicks off. A high kick hauled in around the 25. A lot of room on the short side and close all the way out to the 35. A solid return for Ian Patry. And that's where the Judson offense will go to work here on their third offensive series of this second half. Overall, a lot of explosive offensive plays, not only for Olivet Nazarene here in the second half, but Judson too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the fake punt was a big-time highlight. And here's the thing. You want to have a little fun, and you want to have some highlight reel plays. So for Christian Miller, the 2 touchdown throws, the nice dive catch in the corner by Ovante Vickers, and then the dynamic fake punt. So certainly things to cheer about if you're Judson.
I think we've got a new quarterback on hand, too. Let's see. Play action. Unable to haul it in. Dakari Ferguson. And Ryan Oti, who we saw on the fake punt and also attempt to pass on the first play of the game on that wide receiver screen pass, can't hook up with Ferguson on first down.
Yeah, so that's our fourth quarterback that we've seen in the game so far between both teams.
Ryan Oti takes the snap, a little bobble, rolls left, and just throws it away. Good decision there by Oti. Nothing downfield. It's going to set up third down and long.
Yeah, Oti out of Clinton, Massachusetts, coming from out east. We saw his arm on the first offensive play of the game for Judson. He was lined up as a slot wideout, got the ball from Miller, and then lofted it 50 yards downfield out of the reach of Dakari Ferguson.
3rd and 10. Judson needs their own 45 to pick up a first down. Odie now rolls left. Good speed. Keeps. He's got the first down and rumbles forward into Olivet Nazarene territory. Pickup of 16 on the play, and boy, can this young man scoot.
Whew, that is a fast man right there. Whereas we've seen a lot of runs from Christian Miller and from Cam Crouch, who are more big, bumbling type of runners, bowl over the defender. Odie's a smaller guy, 6'1", 190. He leads with the speed, and as you said, boy, can scoot.
Olivet Nazarene loads the box. 7 in there, make it 8. Odie gives off tackle to his running back, and rumbling forward close to the first down marker is Brandon Mackey. We've called his name a lot today. And another carry for the freshman here in the second half.
So Judson's done a nice job developing the run game in the second half. And as you look forward, and you still got a game to play here, but of course you want to look forward to the rest of the season too. And next Saturday against St. Ambrose at home, you want to develop your run game a little more, and this is a nice opportunity to do that.
Mackey, no, Oti this time, airing it out way deep, double coverage, can't find his man, but a late flag. And that is a blatant pass interference. Does get much more clear than that, as Oti was looking for Jordan West. And that was not needed. That pass interference, unnecessary, because that ball clearly out of the reach of West.
It looked like the safety, Lance Walker, who just knocked him over. And you can't do that, as the crowd just told you.
Pass interference.
Not a whole lot of
defense,
penalties
number
between
27,
both teams, at least from a pass
15-yard
interference
penalty
standpoint.
From the previous spot with an automatic first down.
That's the 7th pass. That's the 7th penalty today. Excuse me, the 4th penalty this half, and the 7th tonight against Olivet Nazarene, the visitors, now with 7 penalties for 85 yards.
A decently clean night for both teams. Chance here to see what Odie's got, and football is a game of situations, right? You want to see how they do in the red zone. You want to see how a quarterback plays on a 4th down situation, on a 3rd down situation. So if you're trying to develop Ryan Odie here into a future quarterback, well, no doubt the offensive coordinator, Patton Fitzpatrick, wants to see Oti in a red zone and then in a goal line situation.
15-yard penalty. High snap. A little bit of a miscommunication. Oti rolls left, avoids one man, but not another. Taken down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss, and an excellent open field tackle by Lucas Eccles is going to bring up 2nd and 13.
I'm intrigued to see Ryan Odie and the arm develop, because we've seen it, right? He might not be the most accurate throw so far with the touch passes deep, but he can really rifle that ball, not to mention that he's got the speed.
2nd down. Odie Rolls right. Now throws it away. A very nice job by this secondary, keeping all these receiver in tabs, and an excellent job of getting pressure by the outside linebacker, Drew Hanf.
We've seen Hanf everywhere. The junior out of Michigan City coming in as one of the leading tacklers on this Olivet Nazarene team. And alongside Jason Freeman, Lance Walker, Princeton Harris, some of the top performers today, all deserving tips of our caps for the Tigers.
Play number 7 of the drive. Judson needs the Olivet Nazarene 18 to move the sticks. High snap, hauled in by Oti. Rolls right, has room, close to the marker, taken out of bounds just short. Going to sit up 4th and manageable. But one thing is certain, and you alluded to it, Ryan Oti can run. And a good job there by Brock Deerdorf coming off his man to make the tackle. Was a little shaken up following the play.
Yeah, looks like Deerdorf's hurt right on his sideline around the 20. Deerdorf, freshman out of Mundelein.
Third time Oti has used his legs. He's got over 25 rushing yards now. And this is going to bring up 4th and about 2. Just tuning in, Jared Schlensky alongside Sam Brief. It was 34-7 in favor of Olivet Nazarene at the half. But both teams able to add to their point totals here in the second half. Judson University a touchdown to begin the second half. Olivet Nazarene a touchdown and a field goal. It's been a highly contested game with a lot of scoring.
Yeah, a lot of scoring, and most of it for the Tigers. In the first half, those 5 touchdowns accounted for by the reigning conference offensive player of the year in David Hutton. Got to see what he could do with his legs, what he could do with his arm. How about the arm, though, on the school record 97-yard connection on a touchdown to Brian Jenkins? That was a rifle shot.
It was. I don't know if I'll ever get to see that again. 4th and a little bit more than a yard. Oti keeps to his left, lowers his shoulder. Did he get the first down? I don't think so. Damian Savage in on the stop is going to give the ball back to the ONU offense.
And I love the effort from Oti to reach the ball out. I mean, even in a game where you're down 44-13, to see that effort from Oti, just stretch it, hope for that little edge of the football. He couldn't quite get it, but if you're a coach on the sideline, if you're a fan and alum watching, that is the effort you want to see from your team.
A long drive, 8 plays, a little over 3.5 minutes, but Judson not able to get points. Will give Olivet Nazarene the football at their own 19 with 38.1 ticks remaining here in quarter number 3.
And again, when you talk development, that's what you want to see, a sustained drive for Oti.
Cameron Crouch to pass on first down. A little out of the reach of his intended target in Andrew Cloy, who was lined up in between 2 receivers on that left side. You see isolated at the top of your screen in the speedster, Jack Vance. He's had a couple of long returns. Let's see if they go to him here. Crouch up the middle this time to his running back, Clark, who gets out of bounds at around the 35 for a fresh first down and a pickup of 16.
Yeah, the efficient running continues for this ONU offense, and that's been the vibe in the second half, right? When you go into the halftime locker room with a 34-7 lead, you know you're going to come out and run the ball. So a good chance in a lower pressure situation for the Tigers to develop that attack. And looks like, Jared, that'll take us to the 4th.
We've played 3 quarters. Judson trails Olivet Nazarene on homecoming 44-13. We'll take a quick timeout here on the Judson Athletics YouTube page. When we return, we'll be ready to begin the 4th quarter. quarter number 4, Cameron Crouch up the middle to his running back, Mateus Clark. Goes for maybe a yard and is going to bring up 2nd and 9. Jared Schlensky alongside Sam Brief here on this beautiful Saturday night in Carpentersville, Illinois, on the campus of Dundee Crown High School. 44-13 our score. Olivet Nazarene has not trailed at all tonight. Their biggest lead, 34 points. Crouch, the backup quarterback, has utilized his legs quite a bit so far tonight. Letting the game clock roll. Gives again to Clark, and Clark up the middle close to the first down marker is either going to bring up 3rd and short or a new set of downs. And they give him the first down a little bit past the Olivet Nazarene 45 out to the 46 for a pickup of 10. This offense for Olivet Nazarene has been efficient. 19 first downs, 9 passing, 10 rushing, just under 500 yards of total offense, and a good balance between run and pass.
And about 10 yards of play, which is about a first down of play.
Clark again up the middle. Makes a couple of miss, has the first down and then some, all the way up to the Judson 42. Good tackle by Demarius Farmer, saving a touchdown. But the MO is certain. Cameron Crouch is hard to bring down on initial contact.
I like, too, what I'm seeing from Mateus Clark. The freshman, we saw him come up with a big score. Came in with only 1 catch, 8 rushes this year, so he's getting a lot more run time in the second half. Another freshman you want to develop. He's from Kankakee. And an interesting story, someone who was a walk-on at Arkansas Pine Bluff and is a former nickel linebacker. But now moving over to the offensive side, he's flourished.
Cameron Crouch looking for Jalen Fowler there on the out route. First time we've seen Fowler lined up by himself outside the numbers at receiver. Nothing to go for there. As the ball hits the turf, it's going to bring up 2nd down.
And in a lot of ways, if you're an Olivet Nazarene fan, in this backfield, you're looking really at the future of your program. A freshman in Mateus Clark alongside a sophomore in Cam Crouch.
Crouch keeps, rolls right, can't go anywhere. Gets inside the Judson 40 to the 38 before being met by Franklin Sayers. And here comes 3rd down and about 9 to go.
3rd down.
Olivet Nazarene has been good on 3rd down. 56% tonight, 5 of 9. But they're going to have to earn this one. 3rd and 9. Sam, we haven't seen a whole lot of passing from Crouch here in the second half. Is this a passing play, you think?
I would say so, not because the game situation dictates it, given the score, but because you've got to get him some run time, right? No doubt he does in practice, but I think you let it rip on 3rd and 8, yeah.
Crouch, quick hitter, finds his running back in the flat. Late flag comes in before finding the first down. Ryan Morrison Gravenberg on the pitch and catch. And this is going to be called back. And excuse me, it wasn't Morrison Gravenberg, it was Evan Leak. Maybe a hold on one of those receivers out there.
Looks like Olivet Nazarene not happy.
Illegal shot blocked. Question is, who was it called on? It looks like it's against Johnson Graham, who was lined up in the slot.
Well, his mic's off, so unless the official has a booming voice, we're guessing. We'll go with that.
And that's a 15-yard penalty that all of a sudden negates a first down and is going to set up 3rd and 19.
Okay, all right. After further review, the foul was not 5 yards downfield, and it's legal to block below the waist there. Therefore, there is no foul for blocking below the waist.
And how about this? The first time tonight we've seen a flag picked up. So give Evan Link the first down and give him a pickup of about 13 on the play. And Sam, we learned something new today. You can block below the waist once you're 5 yards down the field. I will admit I did not know that.
Love a good flag pickup.
Yeah, I do too. I don't like flags in general. Sometimes it's obvious that they need to be thrown, but in general, game moves a little bit more smoothly when there's less laundry on the field.
And this has been a pretty smooth game.
Except for those sideline warnings. Two
Right,
against Olivet
right.
Nazarene, one against Judson.
And the chain gang delay.
Forgot about that. First down. Leak, not the man on the play fake. Instead, Crouch to Jalen Fowler for a new first down. A good mini post route there.
Yeah, Jalen Fowler, sort of a shifty freshman out of Jacksonville, like the inside move and a good bullet pass for Cam Crouch.
Crouch to Fowler for a pickup of officially 12. And that's the fourth first down Olivet Nazarene has picked up on this drive. 10th play of the drive. Olivet Nazarene closing on the door of another touchdown. They already lead 44-13. Off tackle, Leak. Now cuts it inside, keeps his legs going, still going, and close to the goal line. Is he in? Oh, yeah. Give the offensive line some credit for that score. They push Leak the last 5 yards, and that is going to extend the Olivet Nazarene to their biggest lead tonight of 50-13.
And look at the celebration from the Olivet Nazarene sideline. So explosive that it got a penalty flag called on it, but looked like some of the backup offensive linemen were coming on saying, yeah, that's what we want to see. That's what we did in practice, right? 10 yards downfield, the line pushing them. But that's one of the easiest excessive celebration calls you'll see with like 3 guys without helmets.
Touchdown, dead ball,
And that is the
unsportsmanlike
third
conduct,
sideline
57,
warning against
full
Olivet
helmet,
Nazarene.
And was celebrating without the helmet on the field of
Yeah,
play.
celebrating
that
without the
15-yard
helmet.
penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Going to have to try and get that corrected next week, I think, if you're head coach Eric Hyman. You love the enthusiasm, you love the energy, but you can't let it result in a penalty.
Can't celebrate without a helmet. It's a quirky rule.
And you got to make sure you stay on the sideline.
It'd be a good riddle, though, for your next party. What's the one situation in which you need a helmet to celebrate? And it's a football game.
Rychek on the PAT, DeGuira on the PAT gets it to go, and it's now a 51-13 lead in favor of Olivet Nazarene, their biggest lead tonight. We'll take another timeout here on the Judson Athletics YouTube channel. When we return,
Offsides
it'll be
defense, that penalty.
Olivet
declined.
Nazarene to kick
The
off
try
to
is
the
good.
Judson Eagles. You're listening here to conference football action between Olivet Nazarene and Judson University. Ready to resume fourth quarter action here at Dundee Crown High School, the home, at least this season, for the Judson University Eagles football program. Looks like they're going to come up a little bit short in their first conference game. They trail 51-13, but a lot of positives for both teams. We'll start with the hosting Judson University Eagles. Homecoming, great crowd, great atmosphere. Able to get the touchdown, Sam, to close out the first half. Able to get a touchdown to open the second half. But ultimately, defensively, have just not been able to slow down this ONU Tigers high-powering offense attack.
If I'm a Judson fan, I'm saying, okay, we saw some really nice play from Christian Miller, the freshman quarterback, in the red zone. Not an easy situation for a freshman to get the start under the lights, homecoming, first conference game against the defending champs. But we saw some nice passes inside the 10 from Miller, shiftiness for the backup tonight, Ryan Ot, and just a tremendous production here at Dundee Crown High School. On the surface, those of you watching online, you just see the product on the field, but so much goes into it. And playing a college football game in a high school stadium, not easy, but a great crew here.
A lot of room on the return and all the way towards the Olivet Nazarene 14, the Olivet Nazarene 40. And that's where Judson University will go to work courtesy of Michael Porter. Olivet Nazarene had a kick from their own 25 because of that unsportsmanlike penalty. And here we see the Olivet Nazarene offense take the field again here in the fourth quarter.
And as I was saying, Jared, before the kickoff, putting together a college football game in a high school setting is not easy. It takes good people to get it done. And, I've only been here a couple hours, but they've got great people here at Judson University putting this production together, and a great homecoming night celebration in spite of the score for the Eagles.
Running back in there for Judson is Sharon Boyd, and Ryan Ot back in at quarterback on this offensive series. A stoppage on the field is going to cause us to wait for us
Please
to resume
reset
this
the game
fourth
clock
quarter.
to 10 minutes, 33 seconds.
So they want another minute and 6 seconds on the clock.
Thank you.
They add a minute 6 to the game clock.
So it's like we just went back in time a minute 6 seconds.
Ot at quarterback. Drops back. Has time. Comes up short. Looking for his man on the outside. Franklin Sayers can't hook up as the ball hits the turf and is going to bring up 2nd and 10. Jared Schlensky alongside Sam Brief here on the Judson Eagles YouTube channel. But Olivet Nazarene, they have their biggest lead at 38. Odie on 2nd down. Gives to his running back. Trying to work the right sideline and jumps forward past the 35 to about the 33 for Sharon Boyd, who we haven't seen a whole lot of tonight or this season. I'll tell you what, though, if you're Olivet Nazarene, you've got to be very satisfied, Sam. Good win overall, assuming a miracle, but against a team like St. Xavier, a team that's won a national championship within the past 10 years, you've got to bring your A game and fine-tune some things tonight against a team like Judson. I think there's a lot to build off of.
Oh, yeah. Huge explosive plays in the first half. Touchdown passes of 97 and 60 yards from David Hutton.
Odie can't corral the snap, dives on it, and is going to be pushed back about 5 yards, which is going to make this about 4th and 10.
Yeah, slipping on that wet field. We've seen that as a factor a few times tonight. But yeah, if you're Olivet Nazarene, the story is David Hutton. More touchdowns than incompletions. 2 incompletions, 5 total touchdowns for 4. So David Hutton, tremendous. The defense making impact plays with the 3 interceptions. We've seen Drew Hamp, Jason Freeman, all over the place. So if you're an Olivet Nazarene fan, you should go to bed with a smile on your face.
4th and 11. OT with 2 receivers to both sides. has time. Taking a shot deep and hauled in. What a grab by Ovante Vickers. Not over one man, but two men on the pickup of over 25 yards.
I don't know how he got that. Somehow he did. Ovante Vickers, we saw him make the diving catch in the back of the end zone as the first half clock wound down. And here in the fourth quarter, highlight reel on the snag.
A pickup of 30 officially. OT to Vickers, and they are knocking on the door of the goal line at the Olivet Nazarene 9. Odie to Mackey. Can't turn the corner. No gain on the play is going to set up second down. A great job by Reese Jackson speeding to the sideline to catch up to Mackey.
He really closed in well. And we've said Reese Jackson's name a few times tonight. Sophomore out of Georgia. Really good closing speed as he chased down Mackey from behind. And now again, this is one of those situations that as a coach, you want to practice. And right now, Judson's got the chance to see OT in this goal line situation.
Second down and goal at the 8. Odie, swing pass to the flat. Mackey to the 5, rumbles out of bounds at about the 2, is going to set up third and goal. Reese Vicine able to keep Mackey from finding the end zone. And I like what I've seen out of Odie as the number 2 quarterback.
Third down.
He feels like he's constantly sprinting, and that keeps the defense really on edge.
Odie on the keeper. Is he in? No signal yet. Judson thinks he is in. And he is in. A little bit of a delay, but OT dives past the goal line and finds the end zone for 6.
So we talk so much about the speed and being shifty and running around, but that time he just muscled his way up the middle through a really good defensive line, just knifed his way through, found a little pocket, and found 6.
Judson now with 19 points, looking to get to the 20 mark with the PAT here. PAT up and short. Reisman unable to connect on the point after, is going to keep it at a 51-19 game. But Judson able to find the end zone for the second time this half and the third time tonight.
And again, you get experiences. And when you're building a football program, I mean, think about it. Judson started this season with no experience on the field as Judson Eagles. Of course, transfers had experience from elsewhere, high school, whatever, but you start from scratch. And now you're getting experiences and giving Ryan Odie some really valuable experience. Goal line situation, QB sneak against a good defense. Bam, up the middle. You love that jolt of energy, even in a 30-point blowout.
51-19 our score. We're going to keep it here on the Judson Athletics YouTube channel. Jared Schlensky alongside Sam Brief. It was a 34-7 lead at the half in favor of Olivet Nazarene, and well, they have outscored Judson 17-12 here in the second half. But we've seen both teams continue to play for points regardless of the wide margin on the scoreboard.
And I like that. You never like in a football game when it's a 30-point game and both teams kind of roll over and just play to finish it out. I mean, these two teams are playing to score, and I really like that. Keeps it interesting.
David Dunbar, who we'll also see on defense, ready to kick off, gets underneath this one. Hauled in by Evans, races for the sideline on his feet, past the 40, 30, all the way down close to the 20. Evans with a return of over 60 yards, his best return tonight before being wrapped down by Aiden Johnson. Best return we've seen tonight, and Olivet Nazarene very deep all the way around.
You talk about the closing speed there on the tackle, but yeah, Olivet Nazarene all over it. I mean, special teams is a phase of the game that's so easy to brush over, but they've got the best kicker in the conference in DeGara, and I like what I've seen from the Tiger return game, and especially there.
A return officially of 66 yards by Jack Vance.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness.
But it's going to come
Receiving
back
team,
15-yard
penalty from the spot of the foul.
Roughness call.
First
And maybe
down.
this is the one takeaway that for Olivet Nazarene head coach Eric Heyman, you bring your team on the bus and you say, okay, guys, good job with the whooping, but not so much with the penalties. As a coach, you don't want to see unnecessary roughness on a kickoff. You don't want to see any excessive celebration. So I think maybe too much of that for Olivet Nazarene, but that's nitpicking in a 51-19 lead.
Going to bring it back all the way into Olivet Nazarene territory and to the ONU 38. .627 remains here in quarter number 4. Olivet Nazarene on top 51-19, have yet to trail tonight. I don't see that changing. Up the middle, Clark weaving past midfield to the 35. Now reverses field, still on his feet, runs into his own man before getting down all the way to the 10. Biggest run of the night for Clark, and not too far away from where that long kick return from Evans had him set up prior to the penalty.
That's got to be another takeaway for ONU tonight. The play of Matthias Clark. Freshman, 5'7", and very shifty. Now 11 carries, Jared. 118 yards. That's 11 a carry.
Not too shabby. A pickup of officially 55 on the play. Brings Olivet Nazarene to the Judson 7. You give it to Clark again. Let's see. Late flag comes in. And I think we've got a new quarterback on hand for Olivet Nazarene. That doesn't look like Cam Crouch anymore. It looks like Demarius, or excuse me, it looks like
55.
Jaden Taylor.
Remains first down.
5-yard penalty is going to push this back to the 12. But Jaden Taylor now in tonight for Olivet Nazarene. First time we've seen him at quarterback. His running back behind him, Matthias Clark. Seven in the box for Judson, looking for a stand here. Up the middle, Clark. Not a whole lot of room. Maybe a pickup of a couple. Is going to make it second and goal.
Another flag here, and you mentioned Jaden Taylor. He's just a freshman out of Martinez, Georgia. So a chance for Heyman to get some more run for some of the backup QBs.
See what this flag is for. It was a late one and has really slowed down the end of this game. We talked about how there weren't a lot of penalties until now.
Grasping the face mask, number 50 of the offense. 15-yard penalty will result in second down.
A 15-yard face mask is going to negate that pickup of 2 yards and bring Olivet Nazarene back to the Judson 24.
11 penalties tonight for 177 yards for the team that's winning by 32. That's pretty rare. Usually penalties will destroy you, but Olivet Nazarene's just been that good. And no doubt, something to clean up, though.
Evan Leak now in at running back. Taylor gives to Leak. No room to operate on the right side. Can't get past the original line of scrimmage. And a good hit on hand by Iden Johnson. Brings up third down as the game clock ticks under 4 minutes.
So third and very long, and I'd say for Judson and that program building lens, this is a chance to test out that long defense.
Clark on his feet, breaks free, close to the 10-yard line. And is going to bring up fourth down, and I think it's safe to say we're going to see maybe the best kicker in the conference in Bryce DeGuira.
Not so fast.
Maybe not.
Looks like the offense will stay on the field for Olivet.
I'm surprised. I know you don't want to rub it in too much, but probably a good opportunity to get him some more reps. The offense remains on the field. 4th and goal from the Judson 13. Will we see Taylor go to the air for the first time tonight? No, give to Clark. And he scampers forward into the end zone for 6. A 13-yard rushing touchdown for Evan Leak. And it's now 57-19.
Yeah, Leak was really strong in his cut back to the middle, Jared. He was running out of room to the outside. He had 2 Judson defenders right there. And then just used that agility, really solid lower body strength to cut back like that, jolt into the end zone, and continue to pour it on.
DeGuira for the PAT. Sends it through, and it's 58-19. Olivet Nazarene may have taken the field on offense for the final time, but the Judson offense will get at least one more trip. We'll bring it back to you when we're ready here on the Judson University Athletics YouTube page. Evan Leak finds the end zone from 13 yards out, and it is now a 58-19 lead for 13th ranked Olivet Nazarene, who is likely to improve to 3-1. Judson to fall to 1-4. Jared Schlensky alongside Sam Breath. Both teams do have conference matchups next week. Olivet Nazarene takes on the highly profiled St. Xavier Cougars. As for Judson, they'll face St. Ambrose out of Iowa. Kickoff picked up and returned past the 30, all the way out past the 35. And a good return by Sharon Boyd. Judson's offense may be on the field for the final time tonight. Sam, what do you want to see here? Whether it's Ryan Oti in the game or the original starter, Christian Miller?
Well, just like I said, coming down the wire in half one, you wanted to see something to go into the locker room with a smile about. So now you want something to sit on the next week smiling about. And after giving up 57 points, this team is not going to smile much. But you want a positive play because you got another game in a week against St. Ambrose.
OT, the backup, in at quarterback still for the second half. High snap. Gives to Boyd, who spins out of trouble past the 45 for a pickup of about 6.
And that was a nice shoestring tackle there by Vasson. So the St. Ambrose game next week, and Jared, I'll be intrigued to see how Judson comes out, because after giving up 57 points, I really want to see what defensive adjustments Coach brings them.
2nd down and 4. Six in the box for Judson. For Olivet Nazarene. Odie drops back, airs it out. Back shoulder fade. Hauled in by Ovante Vickers. Nice little pitch and catch with his backup QB, Ryan Oti. Quickly to the line, Oti in the Eagles offense. Oti keeps on the option. Jumps forward close to the marker and is close to that Olivet Nazarene 30. So you got the 7-yard run from Boyd, then the 20-yard pitch and catch from Oti to Vickers, and now a pickup of about 9 on the play.
Well, if nothing else, OT's giving a great audition for the backup QB spot, or maybe for that wildcat change of pace quarterback spot.
Boyd on his feet past the 30 to about the 27 as he works downhill. And a stoppage in action because of the first down. Anytime you pick up a first down under 2 minutes in the second quarter or fourth quarter, the clock stops to reset the chains. Odie to Boyd. Boyd working towards the top of your screen. Stays in bounds and very close to the Olivet Nazarene 20. And they may have time for only one more play.
All right, let's see the last gasp.
You got to think end zone, right?
Of course. Only got 7, 6, 5.
Odie drops back to his right. Airs it out for the end zone. Vickers can't get a foot down despite hauling it in. And that's going to do it here from Dundee Crown High School.
Ineligible
All
man
Olivet
downfield.
Nazarene tonight, your final.
The game is over.
The ONU Tigers 58. The Judson University Eagles 19. We're going to take a brief timeout. When we come back, we'll go over some stats, recap tonight's game, and then preview next week's contest against St. Ambrose here at Dundee Crown High School.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, please join us back here on October 9th at 2 p.m. The Eagles' next home game against St. Ambrose University. And as always, please drive home safely.
Welcome back to Dundee Crown High School. The final tonight between the Judson University Eagles and the Olivet Nazarene Tigers. 58-19 in favor of ONU. They improved to 3-1. Never trailed in this one. As for Judson, they suffer their first conference loss of their season, their first conference loss ever, as this is their inaugural season, and drop to 1-4 overall. Jared Schlensky alongside Sam Brief. Sam, a quick start from ONU, able to lead by a 34-7 margin at the end of the first half, and they never looked back. A very impressive performance from ONU. I think if you're the head coach for this program, and Eric Hyman, you got to be very happy going into your next conference game against St. Xavier.
Oh, yeah. Very, very happy because what's football about at the end of the day? It's about your quarterback. And David Hutton tonight had 4 touchdowns in the air and 2 incompletions through the air. Also added a touchdown on the ground. Hutton was extremely efficient. He chucked a 97-yard touchdown, longest in school history, third of the night to Brian Jenkins. So really did it all. You saw some positive things from Cam Crouch in backup duty in the second half especially. Your wideouts looked good. All 3 of your running backs, especially Matthias Clark, looked good. And, of course, the defense was what you expect an Olivet Nazarene defense to play like in keeping Judson under 20. The one bugaboo was almost 200 yards in penalties, a couple of them coming from the sideline, but overall, this was a night that should make Eric Heyman very, very happy.
Yeah, more than just a couple of sideline penalties. 11 penalties officially against ONU, 167 yards they racked up. You talked about Hutton, Conference Player of the Year a year ago, 10 of 12 for 247 yards. That was only in one half of play, 4 touchdowns. He did throw the 1 interception, also ran for 1 touchdown. Offensively, ONU was dominant. 2 of 2 on 4th down, pretty efficient on 3rd down, going 6 for 11, and over 500 yards of total offense, 355 through the air, 264 on the ground. And we talked about the offense, but the defense was solid too, Sam. 3 interceptions. That bend, don't break philosophy really worked for them.
Oh, yeah, we saw Judson a few times in the first half sneak towards the red zone and really look like they were going to grab momentum, but each time in the first half, interception, interception, interception. So at the end of the day, you can bend all you want, give up all the yards you want, but come up with enough interceptions and you'll keep them to 19.
619 yards of total offense, to be exact, for Olivet Nazarene. As for Judson, 330 yards of total offense, most of it through the air, 197. They did get their ground game going a little bit in the second half, but a little bit too late as they fall by a final of 58-19. What positives do you have? And we'll start with the offense for Judson.
Well, for Judson, I really like the red zone play of Christian Miller. I think between the 20s is where he was a little rougher, but once he got into the red zone, we saw Christian Miller with a really nice touch pass touchdown throw to Avante Vickers. Then he had a nice bullet pass touchdown on the next drive. So it was the red zone play, no doubt. And then also some really good runs in the second half from Ryan Oti. I think he might have earned a role as a backup quarterback or maybe as your change of pace wildcat quarterback. So Oti and Miller, certainly some positives for Judson.
I think so, too. They've got a competitive team in St. Ambrose next week. They picked up their second win. What's your message to your team if you're head coach Dan Paplicek going into next week against St. Ambrose?
Yeah, well, if you're a coach, you've got to say, all right, guys, let's look at the scoreboard. That wasn't fun, right? We lost 58-19. But listen, we are a program in the first season ever playing against the defending conference champs who went 8-0 last season. You don't want to admit it if you're a coach, but that's not a game you're going into thinking, oh, yeah, we're definitely going to win this one. You saw some positive things, and you've got to say, hey, do you watch Ted Lasso?
A little bit, yeah.
You got to say, hey, be a goldfish. Have a short memory, just like Ted Lasso tells his team. You want to be a goldfish, wipe it, start from scratch, and lean on what you trust that you can do. Hopefully you have Aubrey Williams back next week and see what you can do against St. Ambrose.
I'm excited to see it, too. Like you said, inaugural season. Not really sure what to expect, but one thing's for certain, they played to the final whistle. Ultimately, just too much Olivet Nazarene in this one. They win by a final of 58-19. Want to thank everybody associated with the Judson University athletics program, most notably Austin Anderson, who was able to get Sam and I here tonight for the broadcast. Again, he's Sam Brief. You heard him doing the play-by-play in this first half. I'm Jared Schlensky saying so long. Special thanks again to everybody associated with Judson University. We'll see you next week as the Eagles play host to the St. Ambrose University here on the Judson University Eagles YouTube channel.